just in the locker room last night when Taylor Corn went in there, and she walked in there and had a chance. One of the first people she sat down to talk to was Nick Pringle.
It's like she's been on this trip with Nick Pringle. Like, she flew up there with him.
Yep.
She said she's run into him in the hotel countless times, and it was like every time she went in the locker room, he was the first guy to talk to her, and he's been very engaging in these interviews.
People, I mean, we can share now. We put Taylor up at the team hotel, Alabama and Auburn, shared a hotel, and there was an opening there, and that's where she was saying. So she had in up close and personal look at how it all went down with Auburn and Alabama out there in Spokane. So she's in the locker room last night. Right after Alabama punched their ticket to the Sweet 16. And Rockstar, this is what Nick Pringle gave the reaction instantly.
It's really incredible. It's really incredible for real, though. I mean, I'm just happy to, be a part of this. I mean, like 2 years straight to the Sweet 16, being from a small town in the low country of South Carolina. I mean, guys like that, I'm glad like I get to be here and be a role model to guys back at home. I mean, just to give them, a motivation to show them that it's possible. I mean, anything's possible. And I mean, we're gonna make something happen and show the world that we're one of the best teams in the country.
The Nick Pringle experience is something else. I mean, he's just an engaging guy like that. You watch those interviews, and you're like, how has he been in Nate Oates' doghouse so many times this year? How is he a guy that is breaking a clipboard, getting his team a technical in a key situation? I mean, and then he's that guy, and he's an interesting cat, man. I don't know that you can define Nick Pringle.
Hey, but so important. I think you have to have him to beat North Carolina. He's got to have another good game.
I don't disagree.
I thought he had a good game last night. I really did. Forget the stat sheets. He was a force when he was out there. And then there was Mo Diabate, and I don't think we've said enough about him and what he did, and we've talked about him a lot, especially in the first segment. But part of that 10-0 run to end the game, Mo Diabate off the bench, and he doesn't play a lot, but when he was called on last night, he was huge. When the game was slipping away from Alabama, Mo Diabate was huge, and his teammates, both Aaron Estrada first and then Rylan Griffin, will not let you forget what Mo did last night.
Yeah, I think he scored 8 points in a row. He made his free throws today, so I'm super happy for Mo because everybody don't know, he puts in a lot of work, extra time in the gym, and this is the perfect time for it to show. So yeah, I'm happy for him.
Oh, he was huge. We don't win that game without him. I think we were down 3, and he came in, got a couple offensive rebounds, got an and-1, got a free throw. When they made another layup, made 2 free throws. He was 3-3 from the free throw line. We just don't win this game. It's simply put, we just don't win it without him. Win this game without him, and we wouldn't be playing on Thursday without Mo Diabate. So just a big part for the team, and he didn't play that much until the very end. That just shows you what type of person he is. He's a guy you can. He wants the team to win, so he's gonna do whatever he can for the team to win. So he was huge for us.
Rylan Griffin with the hot takes last night. By the way, he said Nate Oates is a GOAT. Yep. I know people are gonna think it's a hot take, but I think he's gonna go. He's gonna win the national championship, and then he's right there. It's like we do not win this game without Mo Diabate.
And we'll see if he's right about Nate Oates being the GOAT. He might be a little bit premature on that one, but he's absolutely right about not winning that game without Mo Diabate. One other thing is that now their primary uniform? They've pretty much just gone strictly to that uniform now.
Not anymore, Brown. They got to go crimson the rest of the way.
Oh, so they were able to wear that because they were the higher seed in both those games.
I don't think they have a crimson version of that.
Well, you could do that overnight. Now you got to ship it out west because they're not coming back to Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, they're on their way to L.A. today. But, it's only a white version. I've not seen a crimson version of that, though I wouldn't be against it. The lettering and the pants don't seem to match with me, but I love the retro A and the new look future. But I saw Texas in a jersey the other day that had sort of that lettering.
Right.
So
I've kind of liked the uniform, but I knew it was kind of like a throwback, though they pointed out it's not really a throwback because we've never worn it before, but it just looks like a throwback.
Yeah, they never used that lettering and that A. 3-1 in that uniform.
Yeah. We've got a little bit of breaking news here at the end of the show that is going to affect the SEC and local basketball to Birmingham. As everyone knows, the Vanderbilt job is open, and Bucky McMillan's name have been closely tied to that show. They are, according to Jeff Borzello of ESPN, hiring James Madison coach Mark Byington. Pete Thamel and Jeff Borzello reporting that. That's the guy that just coached James Madison into the second round. He got drilled by Duke. So he is going to take the Vanderbilt job.
That is great news for Samford.
It is. I think another job to watch for Bucky is Oklahoma State. As long as that job's open, I think if you could survive those two, though, you might be okay. Now, Louisville's still got to hire a coach, and you could have the trickle-down effect there that opens other jobs if they hire a guy away from another job. But that was one. If you want to keep Bucky McMillan, that's the one you wanted to pass. So Vanderbilt is apparently off the board now.
Hey, real quickly, would you leave Marquette if you're Shaka Smart for Louisville?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Remember, he had the Texas job, and it didn't go well. Louisville would be sort of like the Texas job.
I feel like I found my stride at Marquette. I think I'd just stay there.
Yeah. That's a tough one. Shaka is getting a lot of play these days going into the Sweet 16. So's Bama. They're still alive. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time. Until next time, God bless you, and God bless America.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
LT on vacation the rest of the week. The rest of the gang's here. Jim Dunaway, Ryan Brown, Rockstar, Tyler, Lunsford in a second.
We call it a roll. Here.
Yeah. It's amazing how many people are not here today. It's spring break here in this part of the country. We hope if it's spring break wherever you are. Keith's up on Smith Lake today. Hello, Keith, to you. Other people from all around the country. Beaches and mountains, and one last ski trip or the first of many trips to a lake or something. Happy basketball season still if you're an Alabama fan. Happy football season if you're an Alabama, Auburn, or SEC fan, or the NFL meetings going on. We'll get to all that. And Otani talking yesterday. What do you think after that discussion as we get going on the show today? But I want to start with a little football first, if I can, because it blows my mind. And I'm not talking about us changing the kickoffs or the tackling in the NFL. We can get into that in a little bit. It blows my mind what my lifetime has seen. I want you to listen to me here. What my lifetime has seen in television and college football.
Okay.
Have
you been watching old games again? Is this what?
No.
Okay.
I want you to sit back and listen to me.
Okay, I'm going to sit back and listen. I'm not going to say a word.
When I was a kid, way back in the day, now this was color television, but way back in the day, there was one college football game on every Saturday. Occasionally you'd get a double header on a Saturday, but never at night. We now live in a world where Fox, not FS1, not FS2, not FX, where main Fox, an American network television, will broadcast not one, but two spring football games this year. On April 13th, not on FS1, not on FS2, on main Fox, they will broadcast the Ohio State spring game. There were times I couldn't watch Ohio State play against a ranked team on a Saturday when I was a kid. Now we've got them in spring football on a major network. And then a week later, they'll broadcast the Michigan spring game. Brown, not on FS1, not on FS2, on main Fox. Our buddy Joe Cladd made that announcement yesterday.
These don't really interest me. Like, I will watch some of Alabama and Auburn just because those are the teams we talk mostly about on this show. I will not sit down and watch the entirety of either one of those. I really have no interest in watching the Michigan and Ohio State spring games. Spring games do not do a whole lot for me. But I understand that time of year, what do you imagine is on at noon on Fox on a Saturday in April?
The Xfinity race, probably. in NASCAR?
Maybe on main Fox. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's on FS1.
Like, I'm going to guess, it's probably for a lot of Fox stations paid programming.
Yeah. Oh, we're to Major League Baseball at that point, but they probably push that into the evening.
Yeah, I don't know if they start at
time.
noon. This will probably be a lead-in for their 3 o'clock game or something like that.
Yeah.
My point is, it's part of the reason ESPN started showing them is ESPN was paying all the money for the Southeastern Conference primarily. And they're like, are a ton of people going to watch this game? No, but it's just one more thing we could sell.
Yeah,
and we got to have programming on anyway.
A lot of people are right. They're one of the broadcast partners of the UFL. So
they are, but I'm assuming they know that that's going to be a window where they wouldn't have a game.
Right.
So this will just complement whatever they're, it could be a lead-in to their afternoon UFL game.
Yeah, and, I guess UFL will be on Fox, FS1, ESPN, and ABC probably, all four. That's probably the networks. They're going to hit 4 games a week. Starts this weekend, right?
Yeah, it does.
Stallions on the road starting this weekend. Standalone game.
At Arlington, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they already knew, obviously, they wouldn't have a game from the UFL in that window. So they're probably got an afternoon game. They're like, why not just do a lead-in rather than paid programming, some skillet somebody's selling. Why not lead into it with an actual football game that more people will watch?
I would tell you that's the scary part, right?
What?
You're invested, if you're Fox, into this UFL, however much Fox is invested into it, however much.
Yeah.
I think Fox is part owner, right?
Of the UFL? Yeah, I think so.
And then The Rock and the ESPN broadcast side's The Rock ownership, but Fox owns part of the league. And now if you're going to...
But they also basically own the Big Ten.
They do, but how embarrassing is it going to be if the Ohio State spring game outdraws the UFL game on Fox? We come in on that Monday and you say...
That's a good point.
Ohio State spring game drew a 3.2 and the UFL game drew a 1.4.
That's a good point. I had not thought of that. I mean, I guess it's embarrassing, but if you're Fox, you're like, well, at least we had that. I mean, that's the whole point is it is one of those things where you can... either just not show anything, or you could say, look, we've already paid for this product. We got the rights to show it. Either the Big Ten Network's going to show it, which we own, or we can show it on our main Fox. We're already paying Joel Klatt. I doubt they drag Gus out for this. Probably going to be one of the other announcers. We're already paying that guy. We got to, for what, Fox brings in a relatively small expense in the production crew and all that. I mean, it's a big expense, but it's relatively small to compare what Fox makes. And if we can go sell, a little bit more, that's just a little bit more we make off the Big Ten. And some people are watching rather than an infomercial.
Isn't it absolutely crazy that is that's where we are in college broadcasting? We get main Fox with 2 Big Ten spring games. Obviously, we got them on ESPN. Alabama, I think, will be the only one broadcast live on main ESPN this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that was any sort of SEC advantage, but the SEC was like the only ones that got the live spring game. Like, I cannot remember ESPN, and I could just be wrong. I can't remember them featuring pretty much anybody outside Alabama and Georgia on, like, their live. Like, you can go watch it on SEC Network and all that, but I mean, like, live ESPN. By and large, that was an Alabama-Georgia thing. But I guess it will spread into other conferences now. I mean, it's a copycat business, right?
Yep. It's a copycat business.
But I mean, I'm as big a football fan as you find. It's not going to draw me in. I'm not going to plan my Saturday around sitting down and watching the Ohio State spring game. If anything, I would DVR it and go back and see, what the starters look like for the first couple possessions to be done with it.
James in the chat room says at least it's not the Colorado circus this year. That was
they did show that one.
That was on ESPN.
Remember, it snowed, right? It snowed right before the game.
It did. I'm going to get to your request.
Uh-oh. All request rock block?
Yeah, usually I don't take requests on topics. Usually we just react to them, but I'm going to get into your topic.
2 for Tuesday, Rockstar.
Michael, over in the chat room, because I found it interesting as well. Something our buddy Wimp said earlier today on 100.5 in Tuscaloosa.
100.9.
100.9 in Tuscaloosa. That's why it's always staticky for me.
You tuned into the wrong one.
100.9 over in Tuscaloosa. Our friends at Coca-Cola, they've got the Coca-Cola Spice for you. Hint of raspberry, spiced flavors. Coca-Cola Classic, you know that, and all the other added flavors. The taste of spring and summer 2024. If you haven't tried it, give it a try. More importantly, let your teenager try it. I think they will really love it. It is Coca-Cola Spice. Get it at your local retailer, you were about to say.
I was going to tell Rockstar, because I mentioned 2 for Tuesday, since you're doing an all request rock block here. we used to play that game back in the radio days when we could play music that we didn't have a license to. It was one of my favorite things you did. Rockstar hated it.
No, I loved it at first, but I think we just did it a little too much.
Yeah. See, I always disagree with that. Anyway.
It's okay.
But it was one of my favorites. For those that don't remember, Rockstar would play like Give Me 3 Steps by Leonard Skinner, and the guesser would have to guess what the next song in Two for Tuesday is. Freebird! And, or whatever. I thought it was a fun game. I really enjoyed it.
And it was never rigged either. We never told anybody what to guess. We didn't know.
Yeah, we were guessing right along.
I was always going to play one of their top 10 songs. I wasn't going to be like, this is a B-side they wrote before they were even a band.
Yeah. No, I always enjoyed that.
It was always going to be hits.
Landmine Believer says, I miss the games too. Let's make this a summer of games. Let's bring back games.
Well,
we'll have to do some of them differently.
Yeah, we're somewhat limited by copyright, but we could work around that. We could figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. If we got some, generally we played games when we had stuff to give away. We're not much of a, we do have some giveaway stuff. In fact, Talladega tickets given away in the chat room. So, maybe we'll snag a pair of those and play a game.
We'll play a game. John says, does Jim have to run a Coke spot anytime he mentions Wimp Sanderson?
Nope.
Spiced Coca-Cola Classic. Spiced just like Wimp Sanderson.
What did Wimp say?
Now, Wimp... known for winning a lot of basketball games at Alabama, winning a lot of NCAA tournament games at Alabama, hitting the Sweet 16 wall like most Alabama coaches have always done.
Yeah, 6 Sweet 16s at one point, 3 in a row, but he never could get past the Sweet 16.
Paraphrasing what Wimp said here, I've seen it mentioned in several places. I did not hear it live, but over in several places on social media, people reacting. And he said that there are two people that Alabama fans should be thanking for them being back in the Sweet 16 where they are right now. One, Mark Sears. He says the guy hits shot after shot after shot after shot after shot.
Okay.
Big play guy, Mark Sears.
Don't necessarily disagree with that. I think that's not even a hot take.
You know who his second one was?
If I'm going to choose my words carefully here.
You know Wimp.
I do. So it's not going to be Nate Oates because I know Wimp.
LT's neighbor Wimp seems very salty about Oates' success.
I mean, if I'll just go ahead and say it, and let me preface it by saying I absolutely love Wimp, and I'll probably hear about saying this, but I don't really care because it's the truth. If he were being intellectually honest, he would say Nate Oates. But I'm guessing because it's Wimp, he did not say Nate Oates.
He did not. He said Greg Byrne for giving them an easy draw for the seeding. Now, I'm getting this secondhand. I did not hear it, but it was what social media. Am I close to it being right, Michael? That's the part I got there, that Greg Byrne in the seeding. Now, explain to people. Now, Greg's on the selection committee.
He is.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people are talking about Alabama's road to the Sweet 16, included College of Charleston and Grand Canyon.
Well, they can't help it. I mean, Grand Canyon was good enough to beat St. Mary's. Was St. Mary's good enough to beat Alabama?
They were seeded at number 5. It would have been a 4 or 5 matchup if Chalk had held.
And I think a lot of people thought it was a tough matchup for Alabama.
Right.
Well, Grand Canyon was good enough to beat them, so maybe that was a misseeding. I don't know. And by the way, when you're and I noticed this the other day, when I tweeted that you got to give Nate Oates credit, he knows how to get to the Sweet 16, and everybody's like, yeah, but he always gets an easy draw there. I'm like, well, I think, and I'm doing this off the top of my head, one year he was a 2 seed. Well, one year he was the overall number 1 seed, and this year he's a 4 seed. When you're a top 4 seed, you're always going to play lower seeded teams until you get to the Sweet 16.
That's
it's math.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You're going to play, at best, the closest competition you're going to play is a 5 seed.
That's right. And if you're a 2 seed, you're not going to play an equally seeded team until you get to the
Elite 8. Yeah.
All right. So you're always going to play a lower seeded team if you're one of those high seeds. So there's really nothing that can be done to avoid that. All right. So Greg Byrne, by rule, Jim, when Alabama is being discussed, has to excuse himself from the room. Now, as we always point out, at some point he comes back in that room, and there's somebody else at that table that's going to have to excuse themselves when their team's talked about. So you've always got to think that he's like, yeah, I'm going to try to take care of Greg as best I can because I know my team's up next, right?
And there's always that night before the meeting when you're having a drink and you're swishing your vodka, your bourbon around. You're like,
so Greg, where do we have y'all?
So when I left the room, what were you saying, Ryan, about my team?
Oh, I would say that would be a 2 seed.
You tell me. What'd you have him? You do it. So when you leave the room tomorrow, watch how far you guys drop.
I just feel like I'm just gonna say it's just so petty of Wimp.
Yeah, I didn't hear it, so I don't want to.
I didn't hear it, but if
that
is true, that is petty of Wimp. That I mean, to say Alabama had an easy road. By the way,
and by the way, Nate Oates, and I am right about this, right? And Jonathan just brings this up. I was about to say this, but I mean, the reason Nate Oates dresses the way he dresses is a complete tribute to Wimp, right?
Yes.
I mean, it is it's really good.
Yeah, I do have one point I want to make, but you're going to give me 2 seconds just to make that point on this, because I got to pull it up. I got to pull up the seating. I think I've got it right here. No. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get it quick enough. I don't want to slow the show down on this.
I'll read some more comments.
Okay,
James says Wimp was always the standard until now, and I don't know if I don't think Nate's actually passed Wimp or anything yet. I just Nate's good. Wimp was good. You don't have to. Nobody has to be ahead, right? I mean, Nick Saban was good. Bear Bryant was good. I mean, we don't have to choose sizes.
I would hope
sides.
I hope
we
don't
choose sizes or sides.
Either
way.
I would hope you're not choosing sides. I mean, it's still Alabama basketball, no matter who the coach is. I would hope that one day, if Nate Oates is gone, he's hopeful the coach that replaced him is successful.
You know what they always say in Tuscaloosa? It's all about family.
Yeah. I mean, you saw Mark Gottfried the other day. I mean, do you think he's bitter that Nate Oates is having success? I mean, I know Mark probably.
That's a tricky question. Well,
I mean, what do you think the answer is?
I mean, Mark, he came back for the on the court, celebration of the Elite Eight team, the 2004 team. So he was back for that. So there must be not too much animosity. You want to come back for that?
I would not think so. I would not think so.
I mean, Mark has a very successful personal life going on and attractive people around him.
Attractive people around him?
I'm just saying. Mark,
all right.
Mark, every time I see him on social media, he's at a soccer match or a pool or something, enjoying his life. I mean, he didn't have to come to Tuscaloosa that weekend. If he was mad at anybody, he wouldn't have showed up.
I will point out that probably the most famous loss Wimp ever had was against a lower-seeded team himself. He could have made the Elite Eight had he beaten a 11-seeded team when he was a 7-seed. Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to point that out.
Who was that?
Well, that was Loyola. I've never been able to say it.
Loyola Marymount.
Yeah, I've never been able to say it. I don't know why. And, at the time, Alabama was the 7th seed. They were the 11th seed. The South Alabama loss, I've got to go by these seedings.
By the way, that was a misseeded Loyola Marymount team. That team was better than.
Well, they just 11. Played a different style.
And some people are saying that Grand Canyon was better than the 12. The Grand Canyon, who beat St. Mary's, if you go back and look at their Ken Palms and their nets, was the best rated 12 team and probably deserved to be a little higher than a 12.
Yeah.
Not my words, chat room words.
Chat room words. Yeah. I mean, in 90, Alabama was a 7 seed. I'm just going to say, if you're a higher seeded team, you're going to play lower seeded teams. It's just the way it works. I mean, like Bama was a 6 seed in 89.
Yeah.
So, they're going to play lower teams.
That South Alabama game, first round loss, I think, at the Omni in Atlanta, if I remember. That one always stuck with Wimp. Well, and that's just the tournament. I mean, you yell over Auburn. We're about to talk to Stephen Pearl next segment. Nobody foresees that.
That was an 11 seed beating a 6 seed. So
I mean, you sit there, you look at, and you're talking about Alabama and South Alabama. It was 11-6.
That was 11-6, yeah.
I mean, those are. In today's tournament, it was bigger back then because 11s didn't beat 6s as often as they do now. But now when 11 beats a 6 or 12 beats a 5, we don't even bat an eye when 11 beat a 6. In fact, we go into the tournament thinking 11's going to beat 6.
That's right. You've got to go find. You got to go find that 11-6 you feel passionate about, right? And know that 11-6 is probably there's going to be an upset. All right.
Yeah. By the way, in 11 seed NC State still playing in the NCAA tournament.
Here's the one I was going to look at is. Number 2, when Bama was the 2 seed under Wimp in 87. North Carolina A&T, 15 seed. They won that one. New Orleans, 7 seed. They won that one. You know what? He's got a lower seeded team to make it to the Elite Eight for the first time in school history. Providence beat them 103-82. So, I mean, you could talk about playing lower seeded teams. It ain't always easy. Wimp lost several games to teams that were lower seeded to him in the NCAA tournament.
One more thing to get to in this opening segment, but first let me tell you about our friends at Legacy. The Legacy lineup today, by the way, Stephen Pearl, next segment, we'll talk to him. First chance we've had to talk to him here live on the live show since the loss last week. Clay Travis, and Ron Slay. Slay is with us at 10:25. Coming up, Legacy Credit Union, right now the home of the swap and drop program. Very simple. You got a car loan, truck loan, boat loan, ATV loan, whatever loan you have at another financial institution, you're able to bring it over to Legacy, swapanddrop.com, swapanddrop.com. Auto loans as low as 5.50% APR, 5.5% APR right there, swapanddrop.com. Shoot that QR code, and it'll take you right there if you're watching us on any of our video platforms. If you're not watching, if you're listening, again, it's simply swapanddrop.com, swapanddrop.com, and you can go to any of the 9 area branches of Legacy, proud supporter of UAB Athletics, and check out Engage Checking and everything else they have to offer right there with our friends at Legacy. Landmine Believer saying Matt Jones says Louisville showing interest in Richard Pitino.
Oh, how funny would that be?
Richard Pitino as the Louisville coach.
It appears, I always hesitate to say this because, a lot of times people like to say schools swing and miss at coaches when coaches were really just using that job to leverage it into a contract buyout. Did they really offer Scott Drew at Baylor and Scott Drew got a bigger contract for Baylor? I don't know that he was offered. I think Louisville was interested in Scott Drew, right?
Who wouldn't be?
Did they really want to get Dusty May and Michigan beat them to the punch? I don't know. Louisville could have paid more than what Michigan's paying Dusty May. You surprised me telling what Michigan paid Dusty May.
$3.7 million.
I mean, that's a lot of money, but
Nate Oates almost doubling that salary.
In today's age of college basketball, Bruce Pearl makes more than that, double that just about, Nate Oates. And so I know that's interesting. So I don't want to say that they've swung and missed a lot, but that's the way it's being painted, is that Louisville has swung and missed, and now they're down their pecking order a little bit. I would say Richard Pitino was a hot pick in this tournament against Clemson when New Mexico played Clemson in the first round, and New Mexico's in the Sweet 16 right now, right?
No, they're not.
Who is it? Is it Clemson?
No, Greg Byrne gave him too tough of a first-round game. Greg Byrne out to get Richard Pitino, man. So that's interesting, Richard Pitino in the mix, according to Matt Jones. We'll talk about other things Matt Jones is reporting, including possibly today, the big meeting in Lexington between the AD and John Calipari. What could come out of that? A little bit later. But we talked to our buddy Stephen Pearl coming up. The show being brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. New York Butcher Shop, Brownie.
Great place to go to get that great chicken, the prime, the Wagyu, the Duroc pork chops, all right there at New York Butcher Shop. Use them all the time. Jim and the staff do a tremendous job. Cahaba Heights and Greystone is where you find the New York Butcher Shop. And you could go in there and get great sides, too, man. They just make it so easy at New York Butcher Shop for you to have that great grilling experience. Rare quality, well-done service, New York Butcher Shop.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from the Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
NASCAR is returning to Talladega Super Speedway for the 2024 Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th through Sunday, April 21. Guarantee your 2024 Geico 500 weekend experience today by visiting TalladagaSuperspeedway.com or calling 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Enhance your race weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience presented by Coolray. It is the Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th and Sunday, April 21st. Guarantee your spot now, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Stephen Pearl in just a second. Quickly, I'll tell you, we'll jump around some of the coaching moves. Some happened right at the end of the show yesterday, and some happening after we left the show yesterday, after we talked with Stephen Pearl. Show being brought to you in part by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Urology Centers of Alabama, 35 urologists, 16 locations all across the great state of Alabama. Listen, guys, as we get older, and trust me, I know this, you got to keep on top of everything health-wise. From prostate health to kidney stones, they can do it for you. Make an appointment today, urologycentersalabama.com. Early detection, so important, urologycentersalabama.com to schedule that appointment.
All right, so Coach Stephen Pearl, the associate head coach of the Auburn Tigers, with us now. He's been kind enough to join us throughout the season, and we always appreciate that. We hate that this is the final visit with Coach, but it had to come at some point. Welcome in. How are you today, Stephen?
Doing all right. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Look, I know it's a tough loss against Yale. Nobody thinks any differently on that. How long does it take to get over something like that when it's such finality, when the season is over? It's not just a loss where you got another game, Saturday. It's the season is over. How tough is that to kick it, and have you yet?
All right, this one's going to sting until November of next year when we play our first game. There's just no way to sugarcoat that. We're sick about it. Not something that we were expecting, and at no point in that game did I expect we were going to lose that game. So to answer your question, yeah, this is going to suck for the entire offseason, and it should suck the entire offseason because we're not supposed to lose that game. So hopefully it's something that can drive our guys to have a little motivation this offseason to have something to prove again for next year and fuel that fire.
Just honestly, I started and deleted about 17 texts to you. I didn't know what to say. I wanted to send you a text, and every time I wrote it, I was like, that's the last thing he wants to hear. That's the last thing you want to hear. How do you, when you lose a game like that, do you never look at the phone? What do you do? Because you obviously have a lot of people that like you that are trying to reach out and say, hey, man, I know you're hurting. Sorry about that. There's nothing you say. Do you put your phone away? What do you do?
No, I mean, I see everything. It takes me a couple of days to kind of get back to them because I'm a highly emotional person, and I don't want to say things that I don't necessarily mean. So, but for anyone out there that's ever wondering, it's always good to reach out because when you win the SEC championship, I had 400 text messages. When we lost, I had 40. So
yeah,
it's always good to and that's part of it is because people just don't know what to say. Like you said, it's a really difficult thing, but. You end up. I got back to everyone. I think on Sunday that had reached out to me, but at the time, man, I have a hard time just being able to put it into words. Where I'm at. So I try and just kind of let it settle, and then when I'm a little more level-headed, try and get back to everybody.
The one thing I like about this is that you are never afraid to say anything. So I want to give you a platform because I've been a little upset with some fans. And on social media, I always try to make this point. You don't really know who are real fans and who who have put a certain team into their byline and created an account, and then they just go out there and say stuff. So I always preface that with this. Like, you don't know if somebody's acting like an Alabama fan and saying things bad about Alabama, or acting like an Auburn fan saying bad things about Auburn. That being said, Chad Baker Mazzara, you guys don't do, and you're the coach, you can say whatever you want to. From my point of view, you guys don't do, some of the stuff you did this year without that kid. Bad incident in that game, I know. But anybody who really is an orange and blue person that's hating on that kid or saying anything bad about him, I think they're so out of bounds. And I want you to just comment on how you've been embracing him since that moment.
Yeah, I mean, no one feels worse about what happened than Chad Baker. I mean, the kid was in absolute tears for 3 days following the game. He apologized to his teammates. We had meetings immediately, like the day when we got home, and one of the questions was asking about Chad, like, how's Chad doing? And they're like, he's apologized to us like 6 or 7 times separately on different occasions, just because, he feels so bad. And, Chad Baker is, like you said, Jim, like, we don't win 27 games. We don't win an SEC championship without Chad. He's that big of a piece to our team, but at the same point, we beat Yale by 20 points if Chad's in that game. Just, there's no, I don't want to dance around that. I'm not trying to, obviously disrespect Yale, but we're way better than they are, and we should have beat them without him. But with Chad is one of our best playmaking guards, and half of our offensive game plan goes out the window when he's not in the game. It's incredibly frustrating because, you look at the incident. If they had looked at the possession before, Chad gets hit in the throat on the way down, whether it was incidental or not, it was contact, close to the neck and face, which is why he retaliated. He shouldn't have retaliated, though. Chad's old enough and smart enough to know, especially, how he's kind of been targeted this year, that's going to happen, and he's got to keep his cool. Like, Chad should have fallen down immediately when the kid hit him in the neck. Then they go look at the monitor, and obviously, that kid maybe gets flagrant one, but they didn't see that, and they didn't go back and look at it. All they saw was Chad kind of going at the kid. From people we've talked to in the officiating community, they all said that should have been a flagrant one, not a flagrant two. And you look at some of the things that you've seen around the tournament and different things that have been ruled in F1, they're very similar. And it's obviously no mystery that if you look at all the opening round games, I saw a tweet on this last night. Of all the opening round games, at least one official from every crew has advanced to this week's upcoming games. Not one official from the Yale-Auburn game made it. And I think that's just, read into that what you will, but I think they made the wrong decision kicking Chad out of the game. But at the same time, Chad, has got to do a better job of keeping his cool. But just for any Auburn fans that are listening, no one feels worse about what happened than Chad Baker. He's one of the best kids to be around. He's an incredible teammate. He's emotional, and that's something that Chad's got to work on. And that's all of us, though. We all have flaws and things that we got to work through to get better at what we do on a day-to-day basis, and that's something that Chad recognizes and understands, and he's going to get help for. Hate that it took something like this to really bring it to the attention that it's brought it to, but if they are Auburn fans that are hating on Chad and have that strong of an opinion, then just don't watch us anymore, because Chad Baker is an unbelievable young man, and we love him to death. And, obviously we want him to be a big part of our program moving forward.
I'm not sure if you had an opportunity to watch the Bama Grand Canyon game, but I believe it was the same officiating crew. Gene Steratore of CBS at one point said, "I really don't know what you would have to do to get an F1 in this game." I mean, that was a bloodbath. I mean, it's just crazy the way, like, one game Alabama and Grand Canyon looks like a rugby match, and another game it doesn't. And I know that's what coaches and players have to do. You got to adjust to that. It's just a factor in the game you've got to adjust to.
Yeah, I mean, you like the SEC tournament, that entire tournament's a bloodbath. You know what I mean? Like, we beat the shit out of each other. Excuse my language. We spend 3 games having 3 really physical games against 3 NCAA tournament teams in South Carolina, Mississippi State, and Florida. And you look at how Tennessee got beat. Mississippi State really punked them. You look how Alabama got beat. Florida kind of punked them. You know what I mean? So, like, that's the game that we were heading into the NCAA tournament looking to play. And we get called for 25 fouls. And that region, the Spokane region, had more fouls called than any other region in the NCAA tournament. So I'm not sure what it was about the water in Spokane that, obviously made that many fouls being called. But, from one game to the next, it's unfortunate that, and you look at the San Diego State Yale game. San Diego State guards very similarly to how we guard. Very physical. They really get after you. Yale shoots 2 free throws in the first half. So I mean, that's incredibly frustrating as a coach that there's that big of a discrepancy in between the games. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, like, we should have won the game. We missed 5 free throws late. We missed a bunch of layups. We didn't execute. We had some really bad turnovers late in that game. So at the end of the day, the blame doesn't fall on the officials. The blame falls on us. Obviously it would have been nice to be able to play the game that we like to play, which is what has kind of been, from the second round moving forward, what you've seen. But at the end of the day, Yale beat us. They had a couple of kids that made some big shots, made some tough contested shots, and we didn't do the things defensively that we normally do, impacting ball screens like we have been all year, and that really cost us in this game. And at the end of the day, there's no excuse. We were 4-0 heading into that game in first round games in the NCAA tournament since we've been at Auburn. That was our first loss, and that obviously sickening. And you go from being a champ to being a chump in a matter of days. You win the SEC tournament championship on Sunday, then you fly out west and you lose your first round game, and you go from one high to one extreme low. And that's just that's the beauty and the tough part of college basketball is you can go from one extreme to the next so quickly.
Let's look forward with Stephen Pearl for a few more moments of the time we have left with him. Obviously, the transfer portal opened when this tournament started, and I know you have to be careful. There are certain things you cannot say and players you cannot talk about, so I'll just ask you a general question about the transfer portal. To the extent you have dabbled in it, what has the reaction been to Auburn? I mean, when you talk to a player, what do they say? Hey, I would like to be at Auburn because of what?
I mean, if you look at the transfers that we've brought in since 2018, there's been 11 transfers, and all of them have won an SEC championship. So there's a lot of there's a lot of positivity around what we've done. We've had multiple all-conference transfers in Janai Broom, Wendell Green, Walker Kessler. So the job that we've done with our transfers, we can compete with anyone in the country as far as what we've been able to do with guys that we've brought in to this program. So, I think people recognize the brand of what Auburn basketball has become. So people are a lot more excited when we call. Whereas when we first got here, they're like, "Why the hell are you calling me?" Now people are fired up about it and understand that what we've built here and what comes with that. And they saw our run into the SEC tournament, and they all watch the Yale game too. So there's good and bad with it. So they understand that that there's a lot being talked about with Auburn, good and mostly good. So we got home on Friday night at 4:35 a.m. and we were in the office as a staff at 9 the next morning, having player meetings with our current players, guys that we obviously we want to bring back, and then trying to evaluate which positions we're going to need to go after in the portal. And we've been working nonstop since we got home on making those decisions.
Yeah. So team meetings went good though. Guys as good as they possibly can be back. We heard talk of people like Chad Baker-Mazar and them in the gym the very next day, getting shots up, already working on next year. Tell the Auburn folks a little bit about that attitude and how they went right back to work.
Yeah, I mean, the guys were obviously, really, really receptive to, obviously, a couple of them we called in and we talked through all their options. We talk about staying, we talk about transferring, we talk about, potentially testing the NBA draft waters. And, multiple guys from this year's roster laughed at us when we brought up the thought of transferring. They're like, why would I leave here? Like, we got unfinished business. We got stuff to prove. We got that. We want to keep that chip on our shoulder. Like, we obviously accomplished a lot this year. 27 wins for this group, 13 regular season wins in conference, 3 in the SEC tournament. We won more SEC games than anyone in this league, winning 16 SEC games. And we won a championship. But, they want that taste of a deep NCAA tournament run. So, a lot of the guys were obviously very excited about, the prospect of coming back and building this thing back up to where we had it this year and then grow from it. So all the meetings went really well. Obviously, like every program, there'll probably be some movement. We're not really sure, exactly who all that will be. But I'm sure we'll lose a couple guys and we'll have to replace them with some guys that can obviously fill those voids. But I think the core that we have coming back next year, will be really good and really strong, and obviously will help us continue to compete at the highest level.
Well, you know how we feel about you. We appreciate you joining us every week. You didn't have to do that. You were very kind to do it. You gave us great insight, and I know the Auburn fans appreciated it, and you know how much we appreciated it. So I hate it's ended like this, but good luck in the offseason. We'll catch up again soon.
All right, fellas. Looking forward to doing this again next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Thank you, Coach. Take care. That is Stephen Pearl, the associate head coach of the Auburn Tigers, who joined us throughout the season. We appreciate that. I do need to correct myself real quick before we move on. JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline is where you heard Coach. It wasn't man for man the same crew. There was some carryover. They mixed the crews up that did the first game and did the Alabama game, Alabama-Yale. So it was only one of the three. There was one official that did both those two games. So I did want to correct myself on that. On the Auburn-Yale game and the Alabama-Grand Canyon game, it wasn't man for man the same crew. So I misspoke on that one. I just wanted to correct that.
Yeah, Roop says the awkward wave from Jim there. It's just so I'm very open about my personality. Am I good with endings? At any point in life, am I good with endings? And I'm not talking about in conversation. I don't like when.
Oh, you don't like endings at all?
Yeah,
no.
I did not like when semesters would end and everyone would be excited about going home for the holidays or for summer, and I hated it because I get so comfortable in a routine. My wife will tell you when we come back from college football playoff. Right. It's the end of football season, and I come back and I am in a state of depression for a week. It takes me a week to get back into a different routine. I don't like endings. And, Stephen has been with us every Tuesday. That's an ending there. Okay. I would be a horrible coach.
You really would. I mean, Dunaway would win the national championship, and he'd have the net around his neck in the post-game press conference and be like,
let's keep talking.
Yeah,
I do not want it to end.
Season's over.
Any more questions?
Any more questions?
Please. Come on, you from the little newspaper in Idaho. You want to do a one-on-one real
Never
quick.
even met you. Sir, you're back there sweeping up. Do you have any questions with your broom?
I do not like endings, so I apologize for the awkward, and I appreciate the fact that Stephen, he just said he's in next year.
Yeah, I noted.
Mental note.
Noted. Don't
mental
worry.
note.
Don't worry.
9/25. Let's see. 9/25 in November. First Tuesday in November. Stephen Pearl on the show. Go ahead and build a graphic, Taylor.
The end of interviews is always interesting because sometimes you wrap up that we've got a couple that I know, Rockstar, when I wrap, they're going to give me, Furman is one of them. Like I know when I wrap, Furman is going to give me a little bit more than just all right, guys, thanks a lot. It's always going to be like, all right, man, hope you enjoy the brackets, something like that. And I just know it's coming from Furman because we have him every week. But then there are some guys you wrap, they're quick out. Then there's some guys you wrap, and they throw something else out, which sparks another conversation. Then you got to do a second wrap.
The best is Clay, and which is coming up is he'll say something like, and that's where all the money came. They found the bodies in the cave. And all right, Clay, thanks for your time, buddy. See you next week.
all right. He'll always say the same thing. All right, appreciate y'all. Or something
talk
like
to
that.
y'all.
Yeah, talk to y'all. Something like that.
But to Rockstar's point, it's like he just dropped a big nugget.
I know.
You wrap him like you were not listening, and Clay's like, "Oh, okay. See you guys later." Yeah.
Anybody wants to take that over, y'all go ahead.
They can also book guests too, can't they?
Yeah. I'd be happy to let you do that.
First time ever I shared, I think with the entire staff, the week you were gone, the last week you were gone. I shared
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, like in the past I would act like, I got this. It's no big deal. Booking guests, blah blah. Finally, I just started that Friday afternoon after you'd left. I was like, hey guys, next week I got to book guests. Brown's gone. It really, it eats me up. It just eats me up. It's all I think about for the whole week. Any help, and everyone up here helped. Taylor,
oh, how nice.
Taylor jumped in and she started. I think we were going to a basketball game or something. And she's all of a sudden she's got a list before we even get to the tip of the game. She's got a list of 20 people for me to call.
Yeah.
Thought it was a little, one of them was the royal family at Buckingham Palace. But,
Theo Vaughn.
Yeah, Theo Vaughn. But it was a list.
E.G. got O's.
Yeah, Dr.
Right.
O's when I was going, yeah.
And, Forster everyone was helping.
Yeah, so what you're saying is it takes 5 or 6 people to replace me?
Yeah, I just was honest. I was like, hey, booking guests ain't fun.
It's not.
It's not fun.
It's all right, though, man.
Because you find yourself, I'm eating dinner, but I got this email back. I need to check this email to see if he can do it or not, so I can go to my next guy to see if he can be on the show tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the way I approach it is the show starts at 9 the next day. If we got, the 2 that I wanted, we got the 2 that I wanted. If we got 0, we're just going to have a fun show. Yeah. That's just kind of the way I roll on it.
Yeah. I don't roll that way.
Apparently, we got no guests today, so it's all you guys. So help us out because we got no guests today.
For me, it's like if I did not have 3 every day, I was apologizing to everybody. It's like, hey, sorry, I've just got these 2 guys today. Our friends at Talladega, they love to have all the guys come over to them. It's like that old Hank Williams Jr. song, All My Rowdy Friends are coming over tonight, right?
Yes.
I can't sing it for copyright laws because I'd be dead on, spot on, exactly like it, and flags would go off everywhere. But all of our rowdy friends are coming back to Talladega, April 19th through the 21st. Couple of races on Saturday, including the ARCA and the Affinity race. Cup race on the 21st on Sunday. You can get your tickets. It's very easy for the Geico 500. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com, or go to or call them up 877-GO-TO-DEGA, 877-462-3342. That spells out go, the numeral 2, Dega, right there. You can stay connected on all the social media sites as well. At Talladega is their new handle there. The garage experience, man, if you haven't been to Talladega in years or never been, let me recommend the Talladega Garage Experience presented by Cool Ray, right there in the infield, right on the tri-oval. You get to see all the exciting racing right there in the tri-oval, but plus you get to go stand in the garages of all the top drivers in NASCAR. You could be separated by just a waist-high fence from Chase Elliott, his car, and his crew working on the car. It is an unbelievable experience. Check it out. Get your tickets now. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. When we come back on the next round, we'll hear from Nate Oates. Think about this. 1 week ago, in about 3 hours, Alabama got on a plane.
Right.
They flew to Spokane. They've been on the West Coast ever since. They flew from Spokane yesterday to Los Angeles. They arrived last night. I'm talking and texting with friends, and they're like, hey, we're about to go to dinner. Wish you were here. And I looked at my phone. It was 10:45, and I'm in my pajamas, and they're going to dinner. They've been on that body clock out there since they left Tuesday, and they're still in L.A. Practice today, official practice at the former Staples Center, now Crypto whatever
Crypto.com arena.
That's my bit now. Crypto.
Oh,
whatever.
I'm sorry.
There in Los
Crypto.
Angeles. So we'll talk about Alabama, and an interesting point from one of you viewers out there about Alabama's preparation for the Sweet 16. That is coming up next.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Legacy Credit Union has the ultimate game changer for your finances. With Engaged Checking, you can earn 3% APY on balances up to $15,000. You heard correctly, 3% APY. But it's not just about scoring with high yields. With Engaged Checking, you can get paid up to 2 days early. That means your paycheck, Social Security, tax refund, you name it, you get it early. So stop sitting on the sidelines and get in the game with Engaged Checking. Sign up today at LegacyCreditUnion.com or visit any 9 Greater Birmingham area branches. APY is annual percentage yield. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
NASCAR is returning to Talladega Super Speedway for the 2024 Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th through Sunday, April 21. Guarantee your 2024 Geico 500 weekend experience today by visiting TalladagaSuperspeedway.com or calling 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Enhance your race weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience, presented by Cool Ray. It is the Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th and Sunday, April 21st. Guarantee your spot now, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
Get ready to level up your fandom with the Autograph app. Co-founded by the legendary Tom Brady himself, this app is your one-stop shop for everything college sports. Access to all the best sports content, exciting fan challenges, and exclusive rewards. Think crazy discounts on tickets, limited edition merch, and much more. Just look at this. Autograph hooked up 6 lucky fans with tickets to the Arkansas-Alabama game for just $16 a ticket. That's what they call true fan pricing. Ready to join the party? Download the free Autograph app today and use the code TNR for exclusive access.
I always think of Succession when I hear this music.
That's a good call. That's a good
It's
call.
got that
right
piano in it, yeah.
I'm the COOO.
That was a good show. I hate that show ended.
Just keep adding O's there on the end. By the way, you heard, and this is no, I'm not saying Stephen Pearl Auburn and this name I'm about to throw out there and talking about portal, but you heard Stephen talking about Auburn working the portal that opened up while the NCAA tournament was going on, the first week of it, so it's open. But South Carolina's Michi Johnson announced yesterday he's in the portal.
Was that surprising to you?
He's going to test NBA waters.
Yeah.
But likely he'll be back in college somewhere else. I mean, Michi scores points, averaged 13 a game.
Best player they had.
Yeah, he was the best player they had, occasionally lazy. That was really the other guys, not Michi.
Yeah, Michi was the one that was not lazy.
Just in case he ends up at UAB, Auburn, or Alabama, or Samford with buckyball, whatever. But that's a little talent if he stays in college and goes somewhere else. That kind of folks you get in the portal. Can't keep up with the basketball portal. It makes the football portal look like the minor leagues.
It really does. Basketball. Well, you got 328 teams or 358, whatever it is, and. You know, again, like normally a guy that's coming from a lower tier football team, you're like, I don't know if he's an SEC
That's
guy.
right.
But, buddy, I mean, you've seen
Mark Sears.
Yeah.
Second team All-American. Janai Broome, Morehead State.
Yep.
Third team All-American.
Yep. It does not matter in basketball. You could go find the guys anywhere in basketball.
Yeah. I mean,
and change your team immediately. Like Alabama, you know, one of their hot transfers coming from Pepperdine.
Yeah.
You know, what's Pepperdine done in basketball recently?
Insane.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's crazy in college. I don't know how you do it in college basketball.
Our friends at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Any movement in the betting line there with the old Crimson Tide and Tar Heels?
Oh, baby. We got Sweet 16.
I had a friend of mine who's a how did you describe him? He occasionally put wagers on games.
He dabbles?
And he told me yesterday he thinks Alabama beats North Carolina.
Straight up, huh?
Yep. Now, this guy occasionally loses.
Well, I mean, everyone loses.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone loses. MyBookie.ag is where you can play those games. MyBookie.ag, code next round when you sign on at MyBookie.ag. Get that sign-on bonus. You can play with it. Play with it right away there at MyBookie.ag. Win once with it. It is yours and yours forever at MyBookie.ag. Alabama holding at a 4-point underdog against North Carolina. Elsewhere in the SEC, Tennessee has ticked up to a 3-point favorite over Creighton. So that has continued to climb just a little bit. So you can see all the games and play all the games right there at MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round. Based on point spreads there at MyBookie. Iowa State, Illinois, that late Thursday night game is going to be the best game of the day. Iowa State just a 1.5-point favorite. That's the smallest line you'll find in the Sweet 16. You can play all those games at MyBookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on at MyBookie.ag. Get that sign-on bonus when you use code next round and play with it right away. MyBookie.ag. Code next round. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag.
If you followed us on social media this past weekend at Next Round Live on all the platforms, Taylor Korn and Scott Forrester with amazing post-game sound of Alabama. All of it was up before I was done with the post-game show here. So it was out so fast, and we played a lot of it on the show yesterday. But one bite that I saved for today, because I wanted to have a little deeper discussion about this, and one of our viewers pointed this out, and it just gloves together, Brownie, with this sound bite.
Okay.
So here's Nate Oates post-game on the podium right after the win the other night to punch another ticket to the Sweet 16 for Alabama. Here's the Bama coach.
We're playing next Thursday. There's only 16 left. I think our non-conference schedule got us ready for this. 4 teams in the non-conference are all in the Sweet 16. And, we lost all 4, but I thought we got better from it. So our defense is getting better as the year goes on. This might have been our best defensive performance of the year. It's been our best for a while. And Wright's will be able to play with us Thursday. He got elbowed in the head, had a head injury. He's had some real bad luck here lately, but, we're going to be playing again, and he can play with us again on Thursday.
Yeah, so that's Nate Oates there, and the Wrightsell thing still sticks out a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's backed off on that a little bit, though. We'll see what he says. You'll be out there starting tomorrow when they meet the media. Dunaway headed out after the show today to L.A., so you'll be out there when they meet the media tomorrow, so it will be interesting to see what he says about it. He told our buddy Ryan Fowler yesterday on Tide 100.9, second mention this hour for that station.
Are they sponsoring the show?
They're doing a good job.
Are we in the Tide 100.9 studio?
They're doing a good job. But he told Ryan, he backed off on that a little bit. It was more we'll have to see with Ryan yesterday. So I will be interested to see how he answers that question when asked by the media out in L.A., because I think that is a significant storyline. Again, he talked about their defensive intensity. And maybe that was a weird game, but before that game got super weird, in the first 4 or 5 minutes, Alabama's defensive intensity was noticeably different.
Yeah, 100%.
Noticeably. And that was with Wrightsell in that lineup that they really, really liked, that small lineup with Nelson at the 5.
Yeah, but as I said yesterday, I'm willing to give him grace on backing off that comment there from Sunday night. That's right after the game.
Sure.
You don't have the full medicals yet and all of that, and then you come back and you have to walk that back sometimes, just depending on how testing and everyone reacts differently.
And you never know. Yeah, you might wake up the next day and it's worse than what the doctors thought. I mean, that's the way concussions are.
It could be better. It could be better on Wednesday, and he wakes up on Thursday and just doesn't wouldn't be able to go. So you got to give a little grace, I think, to a coach in a comment like that. But that wasn't what I wanted to talk about.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to clear it up.
No. I was going to clear it up too. You cleared it up fantastically. On the front part of that soundbite was him talking about the schedule. And one of our viewers, Tyler may have this here, Jonathan Pope, sent in a tweet just to point out what Nate is talking about. Remember, Alabama's got 11 losses. 11 losses, and they're in the Sweet 16. Jonathan Pope and others have pointed out those losses. That's Rusty Leslie, wrong tweet there. We'll come back to that. Anyone who doesn't think Bama is, that's what Rusty said, anyone who doesn't think Bama is overachieved is kidding themselves. But here from Jonathan is the losses. Ohio State, first loss of the year, didn't make the tournament. I think they're still playing tonight in the NIT.
I have not paid any attention to the NIT. I have no idea. But they fired their coach, so it's going to be hard to polish that one.
Okay, so here you go. You lose. That's your first loss, Ohio State. Then your other losses, Purdue, Brown, are they still playing?
In the Sweet 16, and they've been dominant, by the way.
Creighton?
They survived, but they're still in the Sweet 16.
Arizona?
Arizona is really good. They're in the Sweet 16.
Clemson?
Yep. Upset, even though it wasn't an upset, New Mexico in the Sweet 16.
And so nice, I'll say it twice, Tennessee, home and away.
Home and away. Tennessee still playing in the Sweet 16.
Florida, in Gainesville and in Nashville, beat them once in Tuscaloosa.
Lost a track meet in the first round.
Yeah, 7 seed. Kentucky, blowout at Rupp.
Yep.
3 seed.
Uh-huh.
Auburn beat them in Tuscaloosa, lost down at Neville, 4 seed.
So outside of Ohio State, your losses are all 7 seed or better and all still playing in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, 6 of those losses were in the Sweet 16 still playing.
Yeah. Outside of Ohio State, that's really the only loss that stands out is that Ohio State loss.
Now, people, I think there is a discussion every year, does Nate Oates schedule too tough? Do other teams need to schedule tougher?
Well, I think this would answer. I mean, he says that the reason they are where they are is because they played that tough schedule. So,
I agree.
And Nate Oates might he didn't schedule too tough.
Yeah, I mean, but he does it every year. It's a belief for him that this only helps you. And I think until they change the metrics, he's going to keep scheduling like this.
Because of their schedule, Alabama probably had the ability the cushion, they were probably a 2 seed that played themselves backwards to a 4 seed. Right?
Which is still a pretty good seeding.
A really good seeding.
Yeah.
Without that schedule, you might have been a 4 seed that played yourself backwards to a 6 or 7 seed. Now you're in a whole different world. Yeah.
And your path is tremendously different. So thank you, Jonathan, for that. Go back to Rusty, so let's give him some full time. Thank you. Really fantastic, Tyler. Anyone who doesn't think Bama has overachieved this year is clueless. They lost a lot last year. 3 assistant coaches to head coaching jobs, couple of first-round draft picks, They lost a lot. Good point there from our viewers. Thank you for always participating in our show. Clay Travis, and then we talked to Mr. Tennessee himself, Ron Slay. Got to see Ron a little bit up in Nashville. He really does like our show a lot, and we appreciate him so much. He'll be with us at 10:25 Central Time after Clay on the show that's being brought to you by JohnsonRVCenter.com. JohnsonRVCenter.com. We didn't know how good we had it last year, Brownie. Johnson RV Center, Nick, we got to see him at the first 2 rounds.
That's right.
In Birmingham at the BJCC. We got to hang with him in Louisville. He came up and sponsored one of our shows.
That cool restaurant where we had a show,
That's right. In Louisville at the Sweet 16. Well, this year, Taylor's out in Spokane. We're in Los Angeles. If things go well, creek doesn't rise, could be in Phoenix.
Yep.
Johnson RV can get you there too if you want to go.
They can. They have repriced everything on the lot, and their all-new pricing plan, they are so confident about it, they tell you they will match any price nationwide. You bring them a price on a comparable RV, they will beat that price. That's how confident they are in their pricing at Johnston RV Center. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. As always, they appreciate the United States military the way we do. They know you have made it the greatest nation in the universe, no questions asked. Active duty, retired military, you get a great discount there at Johnston RV Center. See more, I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and JohnstonRVCenter.com. Clay Travis is next.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
NASCAR is returning to Talladega Super Speedway for the 2024 Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th through Sunday, April 21. Guarantee your 2024 Geico 500 weekend experience today by visiting TalladagaSuperspeedway.com or calling 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Enhance your race weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience, presented by Cool Ray. It is the Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th and Sunday, April 21st. Guarantee your spot now, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Man, that's a bold question, but it's got that irresistible taste to back it up. One thing's for sure, when you've got an irresistible tasty match like Zero Sugar and 0 calories, something sensational is bound to happen. It's too bad you can't taste it with your ears, because this Coke Zero Sugar tastes amazing. Truthfully, it's hard to put into words, and that's my job. You'll have to take a taste for yourself. Coke Zero Sugar. Best Coke ever?
You never know what we're up to here at The Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow The Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunsford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Okay, Clay Travis in just a second. I want to talk to Clay about several things, not just the Tennessee Volunteers. The Vandy basketball job, which looks like it's filled now with the guy from James Madison. But I also want to talk to him about Ohtani and what could be happening with Major League Baseball, one of the biggest draws there. That's coming up with Clay after I tell you about our friends with Hemphill. For all your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name Birmingham's trusted since 1954, Hemphill Services. 205-229-2090, 229-2090. When something's not running right, flowing right, or draining right, or even flushing right, you call our friends from Hemphill. Adam, Chad, and the team there will take care of you. It is Hemphill Services, 205-229-2090, or just remember the name Hemphill.
All right, Clay Travis with us now, founder of Outkick. You see him on Fox as well, at Clay Travis on Twitter. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What is up, Clay? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Doing fantastic. Thanks a lot. Not what I wanted to start with you about. I was just going to mention it quickly because I do find this interesting. I just saw, and it was from 3 hours ago, but I missed it, a Wall Street Journal story. The NFL has reversed course. They had initially said that they weren't going to play on Christmas every year. Christmas is on a Wednesday this year. Word has leaked out that they're going to put a game on Christmas. I think I enjoyed it. There was a lot of Christmas football this year. I think they ought to just do it every year, Clay. Just play a game on Christmas no matter what day of the week it falls.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Wednesday is probably Tuesday. Wednesday's probably the most difficult to do it on, right? So
yeah, what they're going to do. I'm sorry, Clay, to interrupt. They're going to they play the Saturday before, so it'll be 2 teams that played on Saturday. So it would be basically the same of playing a Sunday, Thursday. They'll play a Saturday, Wednesday.
Yeah, right. So if they're going to do it on Wednesday, they're going to do it every year.
They
from
should.
Here on.
Yep.
To me, that's just another shot at the NBA because kind of the only day that mattered on the NBA regular season was Christmas when a lot of people would tune in. And obviously the NFL is going to take way more of the audience than the NBA would. So I think it's just another sign of them taking over more of the calendar.
All right. I did want to start with you, though, on after 2 games, we're down to 2 SEC teams, Alabama and Tennessee. Your Vols, it was a fight against Texas. I'm just curious going into this game against Creighton, how you feel about Rick Barnes and the Vols.
Well, they've been in the Sweet 16 the past 2 years. My standard of a successful season is, do you make the Sweet 16? Because you can see the Final Four from the Sweet 16. You get an extra week to practice and for fans to look forward to how the season might go. You've got 2 wins, which are very enjoyable in the tournament, even if they're not, always robust and incredibly impressive performances. I mean, Tennessee went 3 for 25. I think the stat I saw was that no team has ever shot a percentage as low as Tennessee and ever won. I think the teams were 0-66 before now. So you would hope. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched that. I mean, there were a lot of really open shots that they missed. So you would hope that the lid would come off the basket against Creighton and/or Purdue. Tennessee's a lot like Alabama. They seem to always lose in the Sweet 16. So I would beat Creighton and lose in the Elite 8, honestly. Obviously would love to go to the Final Four. It would be incredible. Never been. Again, I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago about Alabama and Tennessee having somewhat similar histories. And by the way, Creighton's never been to the Final Four either, and they've been to the NCAA tournament a lot. So, look, I think Tennessee should beat Creighton. I think it'll be a close game, come down to a couple of shots, but I think Tennessee's a more talented team. I'm curious to see how the UNC-Bama game goes and whether Alabama will show up and play really tough defense. If they do, I think UNC is beatable, and so that would go a long way. Look, if Tennessee and Alabama both won, I think having 2 Sweet 16 teams has helped a little bit. I think if you had 2 Elite 8 teams, I think much of the criticism of the SEC would really kind of vanish. But let's be honest. I mean, Auburn losing to Yale, pretty indefensible, and I would say I was stunned by that.
Yeah.
More so even than Kentucky losing to Oakland, just because Kentucky has been, under John Calipari, not very good in the tournament the past 4 or 5 years.
I would say the thing that concerns me, and I've got Creighton, so, I kind of need Tennessee to lose this game, honestly. But the thing that concerns me if I'm a Tennessee fan, 2 of the last 3 games, Connect has struggled to shoot from outside. Now, he was really good against St. Peter's, but in that loss in Nashville to Mississippi State and against Texas, he could not find his shot from outside.
They run the offense through him too much now, Clay. It's a good team before Connect got there, and now they rely on him too much, don't they?
I think it's hard to go away from him when he's scoring. And again, I just look at everything's probabilistically analyzed. Like, I would love to know. I bet there were only 5 or 6 shots that they point to and say those were bad shots that Tennessee took in the game against Texas, and most of the threes were all there wide open. I focus less on Connect and more on Vescovi. That's a guy who's an all-SEC caliber player at different times in his career. I mean, he's been able to go out and get you 20. He can't even hit wide open shots right now. And so I would like to think that Vescovi can hit some shots, and that Josiah Jordan-James, those are both fifth-year senior guys. James was good down the stretch. I think he had 9 and 9 against Texas, hit a big 3 late. I would like to think those 2 guys. And then Justin Gainey, kind of just an outside shooting, supposed to be specialist. He was 0 for 4 from 3. If each of those guys hits 1, it's a totally different outcome. And then I think the 2 best the players on the team, Zakai Ziegler and Dalton Connect, are at least going to get their 15. So the question is, where does the scoring come elsewhere?
Clay Travis is with us. More on Tennessee here on the Vol Flagship Network with Ron Slay in our next segment.
He's going to talk Bama too. Slay is.
So we'll talk to Ron. More Vols coming up in a second. But Clay, I want to ask you about a place you got your other diploma from, one of many, at Vanderbilt. Mark Byington of James Madison, an NCAA tournament win, 32 wins this year. But they go get him. I don't know if Bucky McMillan here in town of Sanford, who's 40 years old and has a unique style, would have even been interested in the Vandy job. What do you think about the Vandy job? What do you think of this hire? And where does Vandy fit in the future of the SEC? I've always thought they should be a really, really good basketball school like they are in baseball.
Well, so I think the challenge right now for Vanderbilt is NIL. And you can use the football team as an example. London Humphreys was a 3-star kid. I don't know if you guys remember him, true freshman. Went out, made some plays in the SEC. Looks like he's going to be an NFL player. And instead of benefiting signing him, Georgia and Kirby Smart, who he made a couple of plays against, just said, hey, you know what? We like this guy. Let's go buy him. And now they've got him. And I think the challenge for Vanderbilt right now is NIL is a mess everywhere, but Vandy doesn't have, I don't believe, the same resources to be able to compete. And so they're getting screwed. If they go find a diamond in the rough, somebody else comes along and offers more money to get him out. It's almost like they need to build a team with players that are like a 6 on the scale of 1 to 10 in terms of talent. Good, that they can develop into pretty decent, but not good enough that everybody else in the conference comes sniffing around to go grab them. And so we're in a really kind of tough spot, I think, for Vanderbilt, irrespective of anything else. I would say big picture, the challenge that Vanderbilt has is they have to be really good because the Nashville sports market's so competitive. And I don't know how many people have said around, or Vanderbilt's done extensive studies on this, but when I was a kid, Memorial Gym was in Nashville. Watching Vanderbilt, the best thing that you could do in the city of Nashville if you were a sports fan. Now, you could get on the road and go to Knoxville and watch the University of Tennessee, but now you've got the Predators, you've got the Titans, you've got the MLS team. I think we're going to get a Major League Baseball team soon. And there's just way more entertainment options slicing and dicing the sports dollar and the fan base. And so the challenge they've got is, Nashville's a big cosmopolitan city. There are a lot of fans of college athletics, but they're fans, a lot of them, of the teams that were that they grew up a fan of, right? You got a ton of, as you guys know, Auburn and Alabama and Ole Miss and obviously Tennessee fans all throughout the city of Nashville. And it used to be when I was a kid, you were either a Tennessee or a Vanderbilt fan if you cared much about college athletics. I don't know that Vanderbilt has that fan base now that is local. And then the other challenge is the school is so good. It's become a real national and international recruit situation. If you're in Birmingham right now and you had a kid going to Vanderbilt, you'd be ecstatic. But that kid probably grew up an Auburn or an Alabama fan and might well either go back to Birmingham or go somewhere else. They go to Chicago, L.A., New York. And so Vanderbilt doesn't really have the alumni base in the city that a lot of other schools would, because there's so many people who go all over the country and come from all over the country to go here now. So I think it's a unique challenge. I agree with you that they should be able to win and be better in basketball than they have been. But Memorial Gym is basically totally, it's a crypt right now. And they've got to go back and kind of find a way to revitalize that fan base, which has really frittered away. That's the biggest story, I would say, of the Stackhouse era. It's not necessarily wins and losses. It's that Kentucky and Tennessee came in and completely took over Memorial Gym in a way that would have never happened in years past.
Okay, I don't want to run out of time without asking you about Ohtani, because one of our employees up here, Emily Grace McWhorter, is a huge Braves fan. She does a Braves podcast for us. She really believes there's more to what is going on with Ohtani.
Well, I think she wants there to be more because it hurts the Dodgers.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that if you grew up when I grew up, Pete Rose was a big deal. And then we saw Pete Rose as a manager get hit with this lifetime ban. Now here is one of the faces, one of the big draws, especially on television for Major League Baseball, Ohtani, and $4.5 million that have now been stolen, according to him in his interview yesterday. What's your take on Ohtani? Does this seem fishy to you? Do you think we're heading down a road where it could be the Pete Rose treatment from Major League Baseball, or do you think Major League Baseball maybe have learned their lesson and we'll never get a Pete Rose again?
So, I first of all, his story doesn't add up. And just start at the bookie level. His trainer, I think, made $250,000 or $300,000. No bookie in America is going to extend $4 million in credit to a guy that's making $250,000, because you know that you're never going to get that money back. So either Ohtani was the dollar behind the scenes for the bets, or the bookie had to have been told, hey, these bets are for Shohei. Otherwise, he never lets it go to $4.5 million. The amount of money that was being pilfered should be impossible. And I don't know who Ohtani's financial advisor is. I don't know what banking companies he's working with, but those kind of dollar figures going out, I don't buy that the translator has access to millions of his dollars. So the story doesn't add up. Now, it adds up for Ohtani, and it might add up for Major League Baseball, which clearly doesn't want the biggest world draw in all of baseball to suddenly be in a Pete Rose-like situation. So the question is, to what extent is baseball willing to accept this? And then maybe more importantly, if you steal $4.5 million, you're potentially going to go to prison for years and years. Is this translator willing to take the fall like that, or is he going to squeal and say, hey, Ohtani knew all about this. I didn't steal any money at all, which I think is what most people would do. An additional aspect here, California, it isn't legal to gamble on sports. So there could be prosecution related to the wagers and the bookie, because unlike a lot of other states, like where I am right now in Tennessee, you can gamble. Now, I don't think DraftKings would ever let you, or FanDuel let you get $4.5 million in the hole. They would never extend credit like that. But this is a story as well because Otani or the translator was violating California law by placing these wagers in the first place. So I would imagine there's an extensive investigation into this bookie. Who knows how many other guys might be involved? It's a pretty high-end bookie, right? If he can even get to the point where he's extending $4.5 million in credit, there had to be a lot of cash involved, a lot of money changing hands. Probably, you guys well know, in the L.A. area, a lot of wealthy entertainment people because I would imagine this was a very high-end bookie. So I think we've seen a pinprick of this story. The question is, how much more are we going to get, and how quickly can the Dodgers, MLB, and Otani manage to just kind of sweep this under the rug and get people to move on to other things? And by the way, NBA's got its own scandal in sports gambling where a player potentially was a former SEC player, was potentially allowing his prop numbers to hit by claiming that he was injured when he wasn't.
By the way, when I know a lot of people think the government only wants to control gambling because of the tax dollars, and that is a benefit to the government to control gambling. But when you have it regulated, that's how you catch these things.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, you guys know that. I mean, the Alabama, baseball coach got caught.
That's right.
There's a lot of people out there that are going to get caught. The more legalization there is, the more difficult it is to get down massive amounts of money. And look, I mean, irregular wager patterns are typically how these things get caught.
Correct.
Suddenly, all the money comes in on one side or the other, and it's an abnormal. The algorithm flags it and says something's happening here that isn't normal on a bet like this.
All right, he is Clay Travis. You can follow him on Twitter at Clay Travis, and you can see him on Fox as well, founder of Outkick. Clay, thank you very much for the time. Have a great week.
Hey, appreciate y'all having me. Thanks a lot.
All right, buddy. Take care. Clay with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
I would judge that on very sound appropriate, energy appropriate, conversational appropriate goodbye to Clay there. What about you?
It was a good one.
And he did what I said. I appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah. But it was not the, all right, Clay, we'll see you. I mean, it was in the rhythm and everything.
Right,
so
we could break all these down.
A rock star. No, I'm just saying, Rockstar, brought it up, coached you up on it, and I thought you stuck the landing there.
Thank you, Rockstar.
You were you were the Livy Dunn of that interview there. You stuck the landing.
You could not give me a better compliment.
All right, the show being brought to you by our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Their website is aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. No cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed for you. The program is overseen by board-certified professionals. That's Leslie. Her and her team will take care of you. There's no contract. There's no sign-up fees, and you get a free consultation. The website is aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Check it out and set your goals. Maybe control blood pressure and cholesterol as well. John is knocking it out as well. I'm on the program. I'm in the maintenance phase, have been for years now. Just fantastic people. It is Way to Wellness. One more time, that website, aplanforme.com. It's your journey to healthy living. We may get phone calls a little bit later on, but Ron Slay scheduled to be with us next here on the show. One more thing to talk about in baseball. I'm not trying to start with Braves fans.
No, here we go.
I'm not trying to start with Braves fans. Yeah. Not trying to start with Braves fans on a landmine or anything. But if you watched yesterday, Chris Sale looked really good in spring training. Really good in spring training.
Otani's probably going to get suspended.
Yeah, I mean, but
Sale looks good. I mean, go ahead and say it, Jim.
Chris Sale looks good, and if Otani is
look at EG,
if Otani is struggling, his mind is elsewhere,
or he's suspended,
if he's suspended, door opens up.
You never
Chris
know.
Sale is healthy.
Hey,
healthy and good.
Taylor and EG are in the same room. If you do this to the Braves, I don't know that you can ever go back in that room.
It's a struggle to go to the bathroom then. I'm just saying Chris Sale looked really good yesterday.
Okay.
Tell us about Dr. B, and we'll talk to Ron Slay.
Dr. Beckenstein, T3hair.net. He's the guy that helped Lance grow his hair back. He can potentially help you too. And the reason I say potentially is he's not going to take somebody that is too far gone. I mean, there's a chance he looks at you and he's like, listen, it's just been too long. He's not just going to take your money. He wants good results. And he's gotten that with Lance. Lance has gotten that through his work with Dr. B. The great part about this is not just something where Dr. B gives you a bottle of pills as some cookie cutter deal. It is designed for you. He's got several ways you can do this. It's designed for you, and it's for men and women. We get asked this often. What about, if I'm a lady that has had some hair loss, can he help me? Yes, absolutely, Dr. B can help you. Here's my suggestion to you. Find out everything by going to t3hair.net, t3hair.net. Set up a risk-free consultation. Let Dr. B look at you and see if he can help. But T3Hair.net is a great starting point. T3Hair.net. It is Dr. Beckenstein. He's been doing this for decades. He knows what he's doing. Get your hair back the way you want it with our guy, Dr. B. T3Hair.net. Dr. Michael Beckenstein, a great friend of the show, good dude, and he can help you get those locks back the way you want them. We will talk more of the NCAA tournament with our buddy Ron Slay next.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Tournament time is almost here, but any time is a great time to jump on with MyBookie.ag. When you sign up at MyBookie.ag, use code NEXTROUND for a special sign-on bonus. You can use that bonus right away. Win once with it, it is yours and yours forever. Not like some of the sites that make you win 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times before you keep the bonus. You win once at MyBookie.ag, it is yours forever. Basketball tournaments, NBA, the start of Major League Baseball, NASCAR, and golf. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
NASCAR is returning to Talladega Super Speedway for the 2024 Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th through Sunday, April 21. Guarantee your 2024 Geico 500 weekend experience today by visiting TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or calling 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Enhance your race weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience, presented by Cool Ray. It is the Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th and Sunday, April 21st. Guarantee your spot now, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
Get ready to level up your fandom with the Autograph app. Co-founded by the legendary Tom Brady himself, this app is your one-stop shop for everything college sports. Access to all the best sports content, exciting fan challenges, and exclusive rewards. Think crazy discounts on tickets, limited edition merch, and much more. Just look at this. Autograph hooked up 6 lucky fans with tickets to the Arkansas-Alabama game for just $16 a ticket. That's what they call true fan pricing. Ready to join the party? Download the free Autograph app today and use the code TNR for exclusive access.
Your Coca-Cola spiced hot take, hard reality fact of the day here.
That's a big name for a segment.
Your spicy fact of the day from our friends at Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Hint of raspberry, spice flavors, Coca-Cola Classic. Trust me, anybody in your house from 12 to 22 going to love this. You give it a try, too. It's the drink of spring and summer with a little hint of raspberry. I go to the lobby. One Auburn fan not talking to me. We won't name names. National champion. I thought they'd win the national champion. I do not think the Braves are going to win the World Series. I don't think they'll make it to the World Series. The Dodgers is the team to beat. They're the easiest team to pick to win the World Series championship. They have bought a title before they play the first game. That's your spicy hot take of the day from our friends at Coca-Cola.
Let's take a sleigh ride. Our buddy Ron Slay, SEC Network, ESPN, with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What is up, Slay? How are you, my man?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing, man?
Doing awesome. Have you, on your level of enjoyment, 1 to 10? Now, look, the 1s and 2s have all advanced, so maybe we haven't had the upsets that we normally get. How have you enjoyed this tournament so far?
Man, I've loved it. I loved it. I'm talking about even games outside of the conference that I'm supporting as far as the SEC goes. Like, man, there's been some really good games. There's been some blown calls that I don't think have been talked about enough. I don't know how you correct those. But also in the women's game as well. I think it's been happening in the women's game, but it's been fun to watch, man. There is no other time of the year like this, man, that you're going to have peaks and valleys and people joining to hate other teams and people joining to cheer other teams on.
Before we look ahead to Alabama and Tennessee, the two surviving SEC teams, I want to look back for a minute. Kentucky appears to be in a spot where they got to make a decision here with John Calipari. What do you, when you look at Kentucky under John Calipari, I mean, I don't think you can argue, Slay, that your old program, Tennessee, Alabama, and Auburn, run this conference now. It's not just a NCAA tournament team. Kentucky is right now at best 4th in the Southeastern Conference. What do you think Mitch Barnhart has to do here?
Yeah, man, he got a hell of a decision to make.
Yeah.
Bro. Like you said, in the last four seasons, man, whether it be regular season championship or tournament championship, those teams that you mentioned have been the creme de la creme, man, and it's all been expectations put on Kentucky, and rightfully so. My whole thing is, who do you go get, and how much time do you give them in order to get some success, and the success being in the conference and then on to national championship level? How do you go about getting those people to fill that void that Cal brings, man? Because he's a special human being. I will say that, like, the way Cal handles this is perfect for UK. He's just not getting the production as it is. So I think you got to have a sit-down meeting. Me personally, he definitely get one more year with me. If I'm Cal, I'm definitely not sending him out to the pasture yet. But hey, man, I'm a Tennessee fan that's been, winning because Cal is there. So I'm cool with it.
We talk a lot about fan behavior with you, especially when we're overseas playing. But occasionally fans can yell things that are inappropriate here. Having a chance to stand beside you in Nashville and meeting you in a media room, I honestly can't believe some of the things I used to yell at you from the stands. Now.
Oh, wow!
I used to cheer against Ron Slay, and I think fans. Tell me, see if you agree with this, Ron. I think fans would be better behaved if they had a chance to stand next to some of the opposing players for 5 minutes and realize how big of a human being they really are.
Well, Jim, it was good to run into you first and foremost. But yeah, I think that's a part of it. I think you bring that human factor into it. You get that close to a person, and you get to spend more than 30 seconds or 10 seconds watching a guy take the ball out of bounds. You get to stand up and, be able to touch them, see what the strength and things are like. I think it would weigh on them a little bit differently, the way they speak about you. You still cheer for your team, but maybe some of the things that they'll see, maybe not that harsh.
Yeah, I went back and sat in my seat, and I was like back on press row, and I started reliving some of the nights in Tuscaloosa, and I was like, dang, I can't believe I yelled at that guy. And there was nothing protecting me. If he had wanted to, he could have walked into the seats and broke me in half.
Slay's too kind-natured to do that, yeah.
Hey, dude, I know you.
I would have got you a big bear hug.
Until I couldn't breathe. Listen, I know you watched the game the other night, Alabama and Grand Canyon. That was a crap show of a basketball game. Some people blame it on officiating, some on Bryce Drew and Grand Canyon didn't look like they were running any plays. It was just, like we were all at the apartment complex playing full court on 9-foot goals. What did you think of that game? And do you take anything positive from that game other than a win for Alabama as they move forward?
Man, that's all I take from it. Once you get to this part of the season, in this tournament, man, you are always locked in on winning. However you win does not matter, because each game is going to differ Anyway, like the next round in the Sweet 16 will be nothing like the last round you just played in the 32. So I think Alabama, man, just get guys in rhythm and a flow, knowing that they can step up and have different opportunities. I think they take from it, Alabama, that we got a guy in Sears, we got a guy in Estrada. You got guys that can deliver, that when you're playing at a neutral site are going to be key. And I still think you're waiting on Grant Nelson to come along and have that impact. And once he does, I think that can pose even a greater difference for Alabama and get them over the hump. So I think they're fine, man. You look at these games, and I remember when we played in Birmingham and we played Louisiana, Lafayette, and UConn. Once we won those games and moved on to the Sweet 16 in Austin, we never, ever even thought about those games. Never thought about the opponents. You're automatically knowing there's 15 other teams involved in this tournament. And we only got our eye on the one that we're about to play. Nothing else even matters. And if you start looking ahead and start trying to nitpick at things, that's when you can draw, and instead of having that rhythm that has you winning and surviving and advancing.
Rod Slay, SEC Network, for a few more moments of the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. When you look at Alabama, and Reitzel is questionable for this game against North Carolina. Nate Oates was initially positive after the game, backed it off a little bit in an interview in Tuscaloosa yesterday. If he is healthy, it seems like this lineup where you've got Sears, Reitzel, Estrada, Ryland Griffin, and then Grant Nelson playing out of position, granted, but he's your big man. Yeah. But it seems like that's the lineup that they work best with. When you watch Bama, is that basically that small lineup, the 4-guard lineup? Is that where you see them play their best?
Yeah, that's the lineup. That's the lineup you go with, especially being able to have those cross matches when you're playing against your opponent, that they got to defend you as well. And I think a lot of that with Alabama, their offense is their defense. So being able to keep you in scramble mode, not being able to match up the way you want to or the way you thought on the scouting report it would go, that plays into Alabama's hands. And with that lineup, with each guy that's able to handle the ball and create for each other, that presents problems for the defense when coming back in transition and playing at that style of pace. I think it hurts when you start talking about a team that can go and rebound and finishing possessions and you being able to come up with those defensive rebounds with that small lineup. You need guys like Mark Sears did last game to almost have double-digit. He did have double-digit rebounds, didn't he? Estrada, all those guys to be able. Well, they need to be up in 8, 9, 10 range as far as rebounding goes, because you got to help Grant Nelson, who's playing out of position. A lot of times he's going to have to face box guys. You know what I'm saying? Going against guys like Baycott, and they're going to just be putting your back against them and think that's going to be the end of it. Now you got to face box and go into a wrestling match, and what does that take out of them as far as you playing 4-on-4 at that point? So you gotta have a focus and understand that when guys come in like a Pringle, those guys got to be right there, man. Be able to go locked and loaded, and you can't miss a step.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things where Baycott may just get his numbers right. You may have to be comfortable with Baycott scoring 25, but if you could guard the perimeter a little bit, you're okay with that.
That's right. Yeah, you look at him. You look at guys like Edey. You need those. You let those guys go crazy, but don't let them put you at a disadvantage by getting you in foul trouble, or you bringing double teams, them kicking it out, getting wide open threes. Everything in this tournament from this point on, you want to be contested. Now, there's going to be strategic points in the game where you have to double team or pick and roll and things of that nature. But as far as your individual matchup, and if the guy goes for 20 and 10, that's fine. You don't need 4 guys going for 14, 16, 18, 18, and then he get his 20 and 10.
Yeah.
Now you're in a problem. You're in a pickle then.
All right, before you go, I want you to talk about your Vols against Creighton. How you feel about Tennessee against Creighton?
I like them, man. I think it's funny. We're talking about Alabama, and you look at Creighton's style. They want to shoot threes and get to the rim. Now, they're not going to play as athletic as Alabama, but I think it's not anything that Tennessee hasn't seen. I think you have to understand when playing that style, when you haven't played it, and this shouldn't be a problem for Tennessee, being able to finish the possessions with rebounds, long rebounds that lead to 3-point shots. You got to be detailed in it. Their system creates the shot. Unlike Alabama, the players, for me, creates the opportunities for the shots with guys dynamic like Sears, Estrada being able to break their guys down. I think it's more of the system for Creighton instead of those guys breaking breaking guys down, the system that they run kind of breaks the defense down and gets you the open threes that they get. So Tennessee should be locked in, and hopefully the depth can wear on Creighton and makes them have to get into their bench. You're going to have to be aware of who the officials are and punch early to see how the game is going to be called. And if it's a discrepancy in fouls, it just has to be. But you got to get them to be able to dig into their bench and be able to defend a different style up and down more so than being able to just play 5 guys.
Quit your crying, Slay. Quit your crying, Slay.
Is that what you used to yell?
I loved it then. I love it now, man.
At the Ron Slay on Twitter is where you follow our guy. At the Ron Slay. See him on the SEC Network at ESPN. Good luck to your Vols there, Slay. We appreciate the time as always.
All right, no doubt, man. Appreciate you guys.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon. Ron Slay with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
Man, I shook his hand.
Good dude. I really like Slay.
And I promise you, I think it was about right here.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, swallow my hand up in there.
We've developed several guests that I've grown to like them as people and just enjoy their time. Slay always such a good mood on the show. I always enjoy having him on.
Yeah, good mood up in Nashville.
Yeah,
good
he's
mood
a good
in
dude,
life.
man.
Yep.
Good dude.
He's got that disposition that you just want to be around. Hey, our friends at NASCAR, they got a lot going on, man, coming up at Talladega Super Speedway. It is absolutely a wonderful weekend to ever be over there. April 19th, 20th, and 21st. First of all, if you're a camper, and they have all the way up to RVs with seats and plug-ins and everything on the backstretch to what do they call it, where you don't have any hookup at all. It's not wilderness. It's whatever the.
I can tell you're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah, you were there though. The same
I was,
conversation.
yep.
The most
primitive
camping you can get.
Pull that
Most
out of
primitive
nowhere.
camping you can get. Each end of the spectrum, they've got it. Campgrounds all over the place. That's happening during Talladega Super Speedway race weekend. They've got the Saturday night concert. Walker Hayes is in concert there, presented by Cabo Wabo Tequila there. And then they've got all the competition on the track with the best drivers in the world. 2 races on Saturday, the ARC and the Infinity race, and then on Sunday it's the Geico 500. You can be there the race weekend. All you have to do to get your tickets is TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, or call them up, 877-GO-TO-DEGA, 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Fun weekend happening right there. All right, Brownie has some TV numbers for us quickly. Tell me about the first weekend of the TV numbers.
Who do you think? Well, first of all, who do you think is the most watched game? Which game do you think is the most? And it might surprise you a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and tell you the most watched game in the NCAA tournament to this point.
The most
10 million viewers for this game, by the way.
Okay, I think it needs to be prime time at that point.
You're already off to a bad start.
Okay, then Auburn Yale.
Well, kind of. It was prime time. It spilled into prime time.
Okay.
This is both first 2 rounds now.
Okay.
10 just under 10.1 million viewers.
Oakland, Kentucky.
It was Michigan State, North Carolina.
Well, 2 brand names.
2 brand names.
I should have gone with
good
that.
game. I mean, it ended up being a pretty good game. Now, the interesting thing about Oakland, Kentucky, I was going to bring up, it was the most watched game of the first round.
Right.
It just shows you. It was on CBS. CBS has got the top. Probably top 10 games.
Yeah. By the way, I'm going to miss that when it comes to SEC college football, not having that CBS window. I'm excited about the future, but a lot of eyeballs on CBS at 2:30.
Yeah, so CBS has the most watched games. Oakland, Kentucky was the most watched game out of round 1, which just tells you when a blue blood's getting upset. That's what we want in this tournament,
That's right. That's why I thought Yale, Auburn could be in the conversation.
Yeah.
Oakland, Kentucky in the conversation.
6.2 million watched that one. Grand Canyon, Alabama, 3.2 million. Yale, Auburn, 2.6 million. The reason I had this is you had asked me, and I cannot find it on here.
Yeah,
so
Sanford. I wanted Sanford.
I know, but I can't find it. It's not listed, and this goes all the way down to 1.7 million viewers. I don't have the entirety of the game. I've just got like the top certain amount. So I don't know what that number was. Maybe not as good as we would have thought. I would have thought that would have been a big number. I kind of wanted to see it too, but I don't have it on this list, so I hate to tell you that.
J. Mose, Auburn isn't a blue blood gym. That's not what Taylor tells me, J. Mose. I was just including in the conversation of upsets. The Yale over Auburn was a big draw there. In fact, Yale still dealing with the aftermath. We're not going to talk about Yale forever, but Yale's still dealing with the aftermath of beating Auburn. Here's this tweet. This is from Yale MBNB.
This is so funny, yeah.
Some people confuse that for Yale's men's basketball. Our notifications are blowing up with basketball tweets, but we are the Yale Molecular Biophysics and Biochemistry account. You might want to tag at Yale M Basketball instead, Bula Bula. By the way, that was our fraternity cheer, Bula Bula, back
What did that mean?
I never knew what it meant. I failed pledgeship,
right?
But the Pikes was always Bula Bula. But it's weird to me that the Yale Molecular Biophysics and Biochemistry has an account.
I would agree. I don't know who really follows that.
I mean could you see,
what do they give me on a day-to-day?
Could you see, put that back up again if you can. Could you see Little T having to create content for the Yale Molecular Biophysics and Biochemistry account after doing it for us for over a year?
I'm going to say Little T has wanted to wring all of our necks at one point or another, but she's got to enjoy working here more than she would doing it at Yale Molecular Biology and whatever.
Hey, we have more test tubes filled today.
Someone can tell Little T that.
Why do they have stopped-up noses?
Oh, because they're geeks. All geeks have stopped-up noses.
Okay.
So it's well known.
I mean, you're going full Revenge of the Nerds here. They're all geeks. They're all geeks. Little T, we're gonna do a little video, and we're gonna fill up some test tubes. You want to come over and shoot that?
Sure. I can see Little T. Sure.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll do that.
I'll be there. I mean, I could go into 1,000 things we say up here to her, and we'll not do it. 5-5 to you, Stan. Right back at you.
5-5?
Yeah, a little fraternity love there. Thank you. All right. Show being brought to you in part as well by our friends at Precision Sports Medicine. If you tweak something, we're going to do 4 downs in the next segment. I think either Taylor, Emily, Grace are going to join us.
I think EG's got 2 of them. I've got 1 of them, and you've got 1 of them. So we're splitting up all 4 downs. Mine's celebrity birthday, so it needs to go last.
Okay, mine is shocking Alabama football.
Okay. Wow. Jim dug deep today for his 4 downs.
Can we get Little T in to answer questions too?
Sure.
4 downs.
I don't care.
Can we put a 4th mic up or something?
Wait, sure, Jim. Nothing like doing that at the last minute. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I play a song today?
Yes.
Our friends at Precision Sports Medicine, they will take care of you. If you've tweaked something, pulled something, whatever, they will get you back to work and back to play. Part of the Brookwood Baptist Health family. Fantastic folks there. Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Just go to their website, precisionsportsortho.com/2024. precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Or call them up, 205-512-3885. Orthopedic care is better together. They'll get you back into the game, whether it's a tweaked back, dislocated shoulder, pulled muscle, whether you're in the lawn, pickleball, or playing pickup basketball. It's all right there with our friends at Precision Sports Medicine, precisionsportsortho.com.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
You got to look your best to play your best, and our friends at Bandwagon can help your team find the perfect uniforms for that upcoming season. Bandwagon is with you every step of the way, from developing your team logo design to choosing from their multitude of samples. You name the sport, they can make it happen. To get your uniform journey started, you can shoot them a message on any social media platform or check out their website, bandwagonsports.com. That's bandwagonsports.com. Next round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
You have all heard of Red Wing Shoes, but what is Red Wing Shoes? It's the place where men buy boots, plain and simple. Who are Red Wing's customers? They are construction workers, warehouse employees, college students, the guy that fixes your AC, the guy at the end of the bar, the IT guy. Red Wing is a father, Red Wing is a son, Red Wing is a cult following shared by all men. A classic, comfortable pair of cool boots with a story to tell. What's your Red Wing story? Red Wing Shoe Stores, located in Pelham and Trussville.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Visit nextroundlive.com today. It's free, unless you haven't paid your internet bill. So go ahead and pay that, and then it's free. Heck, you can pull out your phone and go to nextroundlive.com right now, where you'll find all the free content that you can stomach. Unless you haven't paid your phone bill, then you need to pay that, and then you can enjoy all the free content. Nextroundlive.com is so rewarding that it should be behind a paywall, like Lance's Lock. So in summary, play Lance's Lock. Then you'll have enough money to pay your bills, and go to nextroundlive.com, where you're always at your happiest, for free.
Back with you on the Next Round. Brown is still getting everyone set up from our social media area. Taylor Korn, Emily Grace McWhorter, left to right. That's Ryan Brown back in the picture there. Jim Dunaway and the rest of the crew here, and we appreciate you being with us. Everything on social media at Next Round Live, at Next Round Live. No more guests today, but you can go back and hear Stephen Pearl on our show from earlier, first hour, wherever you get our podcasts, including Apple and Spotify for audio. Always there for you on YouTube and every other social media outlet. If you're watching us, thumbs up. We appreciate you being with us. Like and subscribe wherever you are. One more time about Talladega. I want to tell you about the Talladega Super Speedway. We were all out there. Most of us were out there. You are not, EG, because you were at a football practice. But it's coming up April 19th, 20th, and 21st. It was Taylor's first time to bounce to the Talladega Super Speedway. She hasn't been to a race yet. When we got down into the corners and looked at the embankment, the turns, what did you think?
Steep is what I thought.
You should have walked up it.
I tried, or I didn't really try. I got a little, probably 2 steps up it, and I turned around because I saw Brown. I saw Brown get to the top, and I was like, okay, you don't realize how tall it is until, well, I can't say till you get up there because I didn't.
Yeah, but you saw me up there.
Yeah, and then I saw your face when you turned around.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah, if you fall, you're nothing but you're all skint up when you get back down. So that's why I faked the run up there. I just wanted to ask you the first question to see if you were talking to me or not. So.
Well, she gave me some insight. Like you are just unnecessarily prodding her. Like you texted her. You texted her this morning that Alabama starts Sweet 16 practice.
What? No. That
was okay.
Taylor?
Little T.
Yes. Okay. So
little T.
Never one time has that happened before.
Yeah. Okay, but I was sending it from the iPad. I'm sending you the stories I'm going to talk about on the show today, and I was upset you left it off of the. It was the lead story.
It was
the lead story, and you left it off.
No. This is what. How many times have I not included all of them?
I know. That's what shocked me that you left it off.
I typically don't include all of them when you send me 7.
You usually put the first one, the lead story.
Okay, well,
you're burying the lead.
Did you think that people were going to talk? Did you think that people were going to read it and say, "Oh, they're not going to y'all are going to talk about that"?
Yeah. I sent you the text and.
You sent me that first only, and then 5 minutes later it's everything else. So I get a text from I wake up, I look at my phone, I get a text from Dunaway this morning that says Alabama starts Sweet 16 practice today. And I'm like, no shit, Dunaway, no shit.
Okay, now in fairness, I can see how you would take that, but here's what happened. Here's what happened in my world.
No, we're just gonna do this right here.
Okay.
I love him in the middle of it,
after Brown text asking if our schedule change is okay. And you say, yeah, because that won't be until after we would leave to go to the Final Four for Alabama. And this is when the loss is raw. And I'm like, you know that I'm upset. You know that I'm upset. I texted you horrible things, and I will say that, and I wouldn't take them back. But I'm just like, why? Why? You are pouring salt in all of my burns, and I'm sick of it.
Wow.
I am. I'm sorry, but I am.
Hard ending.
All right, Clay, thanks for joining
us.
Anyway, Talladega.
Right.
In fairness, I usually send.
No, Ralph, I'm not going to shut up.
I usually send them to you from home on the phone. I didn't know if you were working today. Did not want to wake you. I got here, Saw that you were up moving around on social media. So I sent you the list, right? And when you're doing it on the iPad, and I'm using the text on the iPad here. Just real quick.
Okay.
Just listen to me. So, and I'll do an example right here. I'm texting. I put Alabama. It's going to be my lead story. Alabama starts Sweet 16 practice in L.A. today.
They sure do.
Well, on my phone, I hit return, and then I'm able to put another line. Here, when I hit return, what does it do?
It apparently sends it to little T.
It sends it directly.
Yeah.
So if you go look at the next text, I redid all of them again with Alabama. Started Sweet 16 practice in L.A., showing you that was not an intent. But now, from 20,000 feet, I can see where you're taking the shot.
Yep.
Do you want to apologize to me now? Or?
No, because what have I done wrong?
Taylor apologized to you?
Yo, I am emotional, and I have said, someone told me to grow up, and I said no on Twitter after the game. Like,
no, you be who you are.
I am who I am, and everyone here has embraced that. So y'all can embrace it, or you can.
Yeah, and
that's fine either way. But make your pick. But I will not change for the chat room to be happier with me. I'm sorry.
Chat room's not happy with anything. Don't try to make them happy. No.
Okay, first down.
Did you win your first down?
Well, I don't think you finished Talladega.
I didn't. Yes.
Oh.
But you see where I'm watching. Look at this.
I did. Did y'all not see me at the basketball game on Sunday?
I am.
Yeah.
Oh, are you shaking?
Yeah.
Oh.
She makes me nervous. Our friends at the Talladega Superspeedway racing coming up. You can get your tickets. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. And also 877-GO-TO-DEGA. People watching. Like Taylor is fantastic there. When you go this year, just watching people, all the fans.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, 877-GO-TO-DEGA. All right, we'll tell you about Slice at the end of our 4 downs. Oh, look at a video rolling now from when we were
wait
there.
a minute, there we are.
Have we seen the video of Brown trying to run up yet? Is that on here?
That's the post-race interview. This is our tour of the Big Bills Garage Experience presented by Cool Ray. There I am with the Ricky Bobby car. That's right. That's us signing at the start-finish line.
Thank God you didn't zoom in on that. It said roll tide, I think.
Yeah. Oh, this is me running up the banking. Yeah, 33-degree banking. Dunaway thought he was, screwing with me. I was just going to show him I could actually do it. Much harder than you might imagine. Let me just go ahead and tell you.
It's
4
steeper.
stories. Yeah.
It's steeper in person.
No doubt. This video is not going to do it justice. So I touched the Busch light sign and then turned around and realized, oh my gosh, I got to get down now.
Yep. That's me backing out of the way because I had a feeling you were about to roll, and I didn't want to get clipped.
Yeah, I mean, once you start rolling, it ain't going to stop. So, I had to crab walk all the way back down.
And if you think at some point he gets up and walks,
nope, not till the
this
bottom.
Way, all
I don't
the way.
blame you, though.
No, it's the only way I could get down without killing myself, little T.
I don't blame you, though.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, my, what? What are you doing? I'm about to go home.
Don't go home.
Okay, first round, or excuse me, first down.
He's just so nervous.
First down.
Bigger waste of time going to see Zach Bryan or the latest romantic comedy.
Whoa.
Wait, what did you just say?
Whoa.
Bigger waste of time.
Yeah.
Going to see Zach Bryan.
He writes
or the
lyrics,
latest.
EG.
Yeah, you don't like lyrics?
Comedy.
You hate lyrics?
You don't like lyrics.
At this point, it's going to be really embarrassing for you if I do not give you my my 1 down. You're going to sit here with 3 downs. You're not going to.
I've got more in the arsenal.
Oh, you do? Okay. Well, Zach Bryan's one of the great American lyricists. If that's the word, if not, I'll make it up.
He talks well good.
Yes.
Great lyrics, and I love that. But I also love a good romantic comedy. So it's not like spending 4 hours watching a 3-1 game at Truist Park, but I enjoyed my 2.5 hours at the
you
Zach
have a lot
Bryan.
of experience in seeing both of those.
Zach Bryan, yeah, I was back when the Braves were always in the World Series in the 90s. I was at those games.
I see where this is going. Anyway,
go ahead.
So they're going this year, though. Did you not?
I would say a romantic comedy. I'd rather go see Zach Bryan than a rom-com.
I would too. I'm not a movie girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second down.
What's the next?
Best sound in sports.
Best sound in sports?
Yeah.
I describe, well, there are a lot of good ones, but one that I'm on right now, you saw it at the end of regulation, Texas A&M. I know you were up in Spokane, but Texas A&M in Houston.
Yep.
When the guy lets the shot go, and then you can hear on TV, the crowd just gets silent. And then you get the horn, and then it's followed by that sound of a made basket, and then the crowd goes nuts.
That's what I was about to say.
That's
The
awesome
crowd.
stuff. Oh, it's so good, man. I rewound and watched that like 15 times during the commercial break. I loved it.
The crowd, an excited crowd.
Yeah, like the best part about a crowd is like when it goes silent for a split second, like everybody's seeing how the play turns out, and then it explodes.
I agree.
That's when it's really cool.
I love the sound of winning a division, something that the Rays don't have much experience in lately.
I mean,
are you kidding me? You need to do a little bit more research on your baseball.
They've been surprisingly good.
I'd check.
Did they win the division, or did they just go to the playoffs as wild cards?
I would check the banners that are hanging up in Tropicana Field.
And check ours next.
Yeah, well, that's fine. It's fine. We're not in the National League East. We're in there with the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Orioles and the Blue Jays. Real teams. Go ahead. Real budgets.
They don't
Third down.
All right. Is that away?
I thought we had everything. You need mine.
Yeah.
By the way, everyone at with the Alabama party in Los Angeles says listening right now cannot believe the family drama that is going on the show.
Trying to block you.
Hey, and can I just say one more thing to the chat really fast?
8:58 a.m. out there.
Again, now I warn you, chat complains about everything, so be careful.
Yes.
Okay.
But I will just say this one thing. Y'all cannot say that all I cover is Auburn stuff because I got up out of bed, and I was excited on the pregame show. I was excited for the game. I covered everything after they lost. I did my job, and I feel like I did it.
And you've covered games at Tuscaloosa and Auburn. You've done a tremendous job. Don't pay attention
and
to that.
You were raving about how nice the Alabama folks were to you, right?
They were incredible.
The players, the staff, the support staff.
Yeah, and the players, great interviews.
Yeah.
So I will just say that.
Yeah.
And that's my last interaction.
A large majority of the chat just shows up to try to get under your skin.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I woke up
don't let
with...
them do it.
We've
done away under your skin.
But can I get a roll tide from you?
Fourth down.
When do they do Sweet 16 practice stuff?
Rockstar?
Well, when is the game?
They practice today in LA. Official practice tomorrow.
Do
the
we
game
have video
is
of that? Because I don't
Thursday.
believe you. Kate Middleton.
Hey,
wow.
Damian Harris, former Alabama running back, retired yesterday officially. A couple of 1,000-yard seasons in Alabama, had 992 yards, 15 touchdowns in his best year with the Patriots in 2011. He's only 27, had a neck injury, so he's walking away, had his first child born earlier this month. My question for you, maybe you want to set out this one, Taylor, but you may have one. Your favorite Alabama running back of all time.
Favorite running back of all time?
Favorite Alabama running back.
Alabama.
I know Taylor's favorite Alabama player.
I was about to say I have a favorite player, but it's not a running back.
Well, you go ahead and do that. That's good enough.
What's your favorite player then?
Terrion Arnold.
She loved her some Terrion Arnold. Who couldn't like Terrion?
Dennis Riddle for me.
Dennis Riddle for you. It's a great name.
Rockstar's random players.
Touchdown. Touchdown.
Man.
Yeah. Dennis Riddle. He had the dark shade before they were really cool.
He did. Yeah, you never saw Dennis's eyes.
I don't think they were ever cool.
Do you have one? A lot of people will say Derrick Henry. Sean Alexander.
I like Derrick Henry.
Popular
He's
play.
A really good running back. Random one. I like Glenn Coffey. Remember Glenn Coffey went out and served in the military after he left an NFL career and went and served in the military.
That's right.
So, and I always thought he was a good player at Alabama. What are you laughing at, little T? He did.
No, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at.
It's true.
Shad Williams.
I used to like him too. Yeah.
I liked when I was a kid a guy named Johnny Musso.
I remember.
He was probably the first Alabama player I remember as a kid. Maybe a little bigger than where Lincoln is right now. Maybe a year older than Lincoln. And so he was the first Alabama player I remember, Johnny Musso.
Okay.
Number 22.
I'm going to go with our current guys, Justice Haynes and Jam Miller.
Okay.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Fourth down.
Celebrity birthday. Keira Knightley turns, I think it's 37. 39, I'm sorry. Keira Knightley turns 39.
Where does time go?
Random movie crush you have. Keira Knightley for me. I like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Her dressed as a pirate did it for me. I don't know why.
Dressed as a pirate.
It did, Rockstar.
She was playing a pirate. You weren't dressed as... that's the way you describe it.
Okay.
Hey, when you dress like a pirate, is it Kiara Knightley?
All right. So
can you just say ARG for me?
Keira Knightley.
I got a plank for you.
Keira Knightley, Rockstar. Keira Knightley in her role as a pirate. Is that better for you? That did it for me.
I do Charlize Theron in a Monster.
Really?
No,
I
don't know if I have one.
Yeah.
I have to think of a specific role.
Yeah.
Favorite
Girls, you
pirate?
answer first.
No, favorite movie crush. Just
Favorite
random
pirate.
movie crush. Random movie crush you had. Mine was Keira Knightley playing the role as a pirate on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Mine was Megan Fox. This is 40 as a retail salesperson. That was a good role.
After it.
Yeah.
She doesn't mind security cameras.
You guys have a random movie crush?
Dennis
Little T doesn't
Quaid.
watch movies. I'm sorry, I forgot.
That's okay.
I like Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid as?
Anything.
Any role?
Any
All right.
role.
EG's old man crush is Dennis Quaid.
It is. Young Dennis Quaid.
Yes. That is 4 Downs presented by Slice. We got some breaking news. I want Little T's opinion though before we go to break real quick.
No, we got all the time in the world.
4 Downs presented by Slice. 4 great locations, 5 soon. Coming to Edgewood there in Homewood. Great unique pizza. SliceBirmingham.com to find out more. SliceBirmingham.com. I recommend the Hot Mama or the Soul Pie.
I got sliced last night.
Did you? What'd you get? Which one?
I don't know what the name of it is on the menu, but it's the one that has like white sauce on it. It
I
has
think
brisket.
that's the White Shadow. Oh, it's got brisket?
It has brisket.
Ooh,
It's
that
like
sounds good.
it's barbecue something, and you can get chicken or brisket. But
Yeah.
I like the brisket.
Is that the Little Piggy?
I think
Maybe,
it's just
yeah.
it's something barbecue. I don't know.
According to On3 Sports' Joe Tipton, Katie Johnson has entered the transfer portal.
Not surprised.
You're not surprised at that. I just wanted your reaction.
Why are you
No.
not surprised?
It was the last home game of the season, I believe. And I was asking some people when I was down there, just not staff people, but just people that follow the team closely, what they thought was going to happen with, the people that.
Still have eligibility
Correct.
left. Yeah.
And that made me, the response from who I was talking to made me get the feeling that he would not be back on the roster next season. And I don't.
And in fairness, this could be one of those things where they could. Sometimes everyone thinks it's a player leaving. Sometimes
Right.
it could be the coaches saying, maybe you need to find another place.
Right. I think I like KD a lot. I like his personality. I think that he got a little sporadic sometimes during games. And this, I will say one thing, this past weekend, I feel like he calmed down. He wasn't, after every call, he wasn't going ballistic on the court, and that was something that I feel like you don't often see from him. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, I'm not heartbroken. I think he did good things for, like, he was enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
But I don't know where he'll end up. I wish him the best, but I'm not surprised by it, and I'm not crushed by it either.
All right. So KD Johnson in the transfer portal. Talking with Stephen Pearl, it didn't sound like you'd get a whole lot of guys there, but to Little T's point, maybe that had kind of been simmering around the program for a bit.
But if you go back and listen to Stephen, he did point out we discuss all the opportunities with our guys, whether it's what they need to improve on, maybe the NBA, maybe the transfer portal even said that. So they encourage some guys that, hey, we may be bringing in another player and you may not be getting playing time next year. Maybe you need to go somewhere else.
Well,
no hard feelings, just grown-ass man stuff, right? You need to move on.
Was it this season where he had to sit for, I think it was just some off courts. I can't remember when it was.
But just in Nashville when we were there for the SEC tournament, remember he did something early on, came out of the game, and then sat on the bench and pulled his hoodie up and then didn't play
for a while
into halftime and for a long part in the second half, and finally had to check back in.
Right. So I don't know what he's like off the court, I guess, at all. But
do you not really? Do you not think he and I are a lot alike off the court?
In what way?
Mood swings, good mood, bad moods in a heartbeat. That's the way that's the way he plays on the court.
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm not super surprised.
Okay. Yeah.
There you go. KD Johnson in the transfer portal. Yeah.
We'll see how many. John said he's got eligibility left. Started at Georgia.
It does feel. I mean, it is a little surprising that guy can still play.
Yeah. If you're 2020 player, you got 5 years. Sometimes 6, sometimes 7. It seems like. Janai's got another year.
Yeah.
Right.
And Mark Sears got another year. Right?
Mark Sears, if he wants it, has got another year.
It's insane to think about that.
Yeah. Some people just decide I'm retiring. I'm not out of
I've done all
eligibility.
I
I'm just
can.
tired of playing.
Yeah. Cardwell too.
Yeah. Dylan Cardwell does too. So a lot of people coming back for that Auburn team. All right, that is our 4 Downs today, brought to you by Slice. This hour of the show brought to you by Champy's Chicken, Champy's world famous fried chicken. Before we left for the NCAA tournament, in fact, opening round Thursday. We had Champy's up here, enjoyed it so much. Sterling and the crew can cater for you, whether it's an office party, a big meeting, or whether you're watching the games at home on the weekends, football or basketball, or when the Braves crank up. Always good. Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster, hand-cut chicken fingers, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. It's Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
You have all heard of Red Wing Shoes, but what is Red Wing Shoes? It's the place where men buy boots, plain and simple. Who are Red Wing's customers? They are construction workers, warehouse employees, college students, the guy that fixes your AC, the guy at the end of the bar, the IT guy. Red Wing is a father, Red Wing is a son, Red Wing is a cult following shared by all men. A classic, comfortable pair of cool boots with a story to tell. What's your Red Wing story? Red Wing Shoe Stores, located in Pelham and Trussville.
It's that time of year. Hoops, hops, and wings with our friends at Walk-Ons. We're talking about the unbelievable madness of the best viewing and the best food in town.
This tournament season, try any of the 3 local walk-ons in Trussville, Stadium Trace in Hoover, and also the Greystone location. A wonderful menu with original food, great drinks, but most importantly in tournament season, TVs everywhere, so you can keep up with how your bracket's burning.
Your home for all the tournament action is Walk-On Sports Bistro. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Man, that's a bold question, but it's got that irresistible taste to back it up. One thing's for sure, when you've got an irresistible tasty match like Zero Sugar and 0 calories, something sensational is bound to happen. It's too bad you can't taste it with your ears, because this Coke Zero Sugar tastes amazing. Truthfully, it's hard to put into words, and that's my job. You'll have to take a taste for yourself. Coke Zero Sugar. Best Coke ever?
Get ready to level up your fandom with the Autograph app. Co-founded by the legendary Tom Brady himself, this app is your one-stop shop for everything college sports. Access to all the best sports content, exciting fan challenges, and exclusive rewards. Think crazy discounts on tickets, limited edition merch, and much more. Just look at this. Autograph hooked up 6 lucky fans with tickets to the Arkansas-Alabama game for just $16 a ticket. That's what they call true fan pricing. Ready to join the party? Download the free Autograph app today and use the code TNR for exclusive access.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Okay, got 1,000 things I want to get to in this segment here, this hour of the show, brought to you by Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. I just told you that. But so many times, you go to a pizza party or an office meeting and it's always pizza, right?
Right.
How many times in corporate America do you walk in and have a meeting and to discuss, sales or whatever, and it's a pizza party, right?
Right.
Mix it up every now and then if you're the person that's in charge of parties at your house. Get a little Champy's Chicken delivery, champyschicken.com. Destination lunch right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Appreciate them so much. We'll get back to basketball in just a second. But first, some football stuff. Let's go NFL first. Rapid fire on all this, Brown.
All right, okay? I'll go as quick as I can.
Rapid fire on all this. First off, the Broncos. Tyler, can you pull up the Broncos tweet? I'm interested to see what's going to happen here. The Broncos send out this tweet yesterday hinting that they may be getting some new uniforms. Look at this, coming soon. And they're hinting new uniforms are coming.
Well,
now, the bad part of it is they still show the little Bronco horse.
That's what I was going to say. It's not going to be the old horse coming through the D, right? Which is the old school logo they had back in the day.
The T's would say no. But maybe it is, Brownie. I don't know what the change will be. I know I hate I don't know what they call them. Maybe Lunsford watches enough NFL to know, but when they wear the white helmets and the white uniforms, it's their Arctic look.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember what they call it, yeah.
I don't like that. Oh, here's something official for the Broncos. It's time for a change, and we think we'll have something that honors Broncos country, and our fans will be pleased that it includes elements of Colorado. Ooh. I will tell you, I
Go back to the D with a horse coming to it.
I do think sometimes you overdo the mountains on uniforms and things like that.
I agree.
Yeah. So that scares me a little bit as far as uniforms are concerned. If they jack it up too much.
Meanwhile, Dolphins just going to stick with that uniform, right?
The bad ones.
Yeah, everybody changes uniforms all the time. Dolphins, no, the fans hate it. Sure, we're going to stick with it. Yeah.
Miami's got an offer out for Odell Beckham Jr.
I
What do you
saw
think
that.
of that?
Need a third receiver to go with. They brought in Chase Claypool in the during the season last year to go with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I think Odell Beckham still got some gas in the tank as a number 3 receiver. Claypool was thought to be a bad apple. They brought him in, didn't have any issues there, and that would be your concern with OBJ, but I think he's still got enough gas in the tank to be a number 3 receiver. He was good for Lance's Rams the last full season we really saw him play.
100%. Hey, the 49ers GM John Lynch at the owners' meeting saying Brandon Ayuk is not tradable.
I would take him as the Dolphins, too, if you're asking about that.
I mean, I think he is a stud.
Yeah.
They're going to try to keep him as long as they can. This is pretty amazing. The New York Giants owner, the Mara family, John Mara, has given the okay to the general manager and Brian Dable to draft a quarterback if they want to do that. The ownership has given them the okay to draft a quarterback in the upcoming draft if they choose. They've got the 6th pick. The reason they had to get ownership approval of this is the ownership and the GM, I assume, convinced them to pay $160 million after the playoff run 2 years ago to Daniel Jones. So they're still on the hook on a lot of money for Daniel Jones, but John Mara has signed off. If you guys are in love with a quarterback, and more on why they could be in love with a quarterback in a second, but 6th overall pick, if you want to draft it, I'm giving you the okay to go spend the money.
You know who I saw earlier today that an insider, and draft insiders are a dime a dozen, by the way, say that the Giants really like at that pick?
Is it J.J. McCarthy?
It is.
J.J. McCarthy.
Which you probably wouldn't have to use the number 6 pick to get J.J. McCarthy, but if that's the guy you like.
Caleb Williams is such an overall favorite to go number 1 overall that his odds on the number 2 pick are plus 35,000.
J.J. McCarthy's are?
Caleb
Williams. I got you. That's what we're saying.
So you'd have to, if you're betting just on who the number 2 pick is,
right?
If you think somebody else is going to go 1 and Caleb Williams is like plus 35,000.
I mean, it's worth a $10 flyer on that, isn't it?
But here are the odds for the number 2 pick, and this is assuming Caleb goes first. Jaden Daniels minus 170, Drake May plus 135, both those virtual pick'ems. J.J. McCarthy now plus 500, so he's moved into the discussion of being the number 2 overall pick, which is why a lot of teams love him. After J.J. McCarthy, Marvin Harrison Jr. at plus 2,200. So you go from quarterbacks minus 170, plus 135, plus 500 to Marvin Harrison Jr. at plus 2,200 for the 2nd overall pick. But if you like Caleb, obviously, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, there is a scenario that one of those 4 guys are available for you without even trading at the 6th pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild to think that you could go J.J. McCarthy as high as 6, but if that's, again, I'll say, if it's who you love, if you think he's a franchise quarterback, are you going to feel any better if he collapses if you draft him at 6 or 26?
No.
I mean, if you think he's a franchise quarterback and he doesn't work out, I don't think anybody's going to look back and say, well, if we'd have taken him at 26, I'd have been okay with it. But we took him at 6, so now I'm pissed.
That's right. I mean, Cowboys got a steal on Dak Prescott.
In third round, right?
Third round,
yeah.
Right?
But
Russell Wilson, steal for the Seahawks.
Yeah, but in hindsight, had you used a top 10 pick on Dak Prescott, you would still say, hey, I think we got a top 10 pick worth out of him so far. We'll see if he finishes his career that way.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of more things here. Now to college football. Michigan safety Rod Moore. And this is, we got to practice. It's contact football. But Michigan safety Rod Moore tears his ACL yesterday. The guy's played so many games for Michigan. So he's out for a long, long time.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you got to have contact practice. I assume he did it in contact. I mean, guys could tear an ACL running 40s.
That's right. It could be non-contact.
Yeah, it could be a non-contact.
Drills,
So, I mean, it's just one of those things where injuries are going to happen. They're part of the game.
Notre Dame athletic director Jack Swarbrick to our Dennis Dodd yesterday, friend of the show, Dennis Dodd. This is the Notre Dame athletic director. Quote, I don't see a lot of momentum towards further realignment right now. He said that yesterday. He thinks, he knows, he sees the disgruntled members in the ACC, and Swarbrick tells Dennis Dodd, I don't know where they're going. If they leave, I don't know where they're going to land.
They're not. They need somebody else with them, and a lot of people say that is North Carolina, that if North Carolina came forward and said, hey, we're done with this too, where are we going? Then all of a sudden North Carolina, Clemson, Florida State, and one other team, presumably NC State, somebody like that, would become very attractive.
Yes. And then we'll get to basketball. I forgot the other sponsor that I wrote down here I was supposed to do in this. Was it Odie's? It was our friends at Odie's.
Rockstar.
Yeah.
Wednesday night's coming up. I'm going to be out there with you for trivia Wednesday night.
A little trivia with Will Haver. Can't ring the bell because it's not Wednesday. That would be unlawful.
Ooh, no, let's hold off until tomorrow. Remember to ring the bell
charged
tomorrow.
Every time.
Odie's Crestline is where we do the trivia. He's also got the brand new Edgewood location. Great Big Cup cocktails, great place to watch all the basketball games. And you can watch the entire NCAA tournament there. Enjoy Rodney's famous cheeseburger, the Diablo sandwich, which I love, south of the border roll-up. Great food, great times here at Odie's, Edgewood and Homewood, also Crestline Village and Mountain Brook. That's where we'll see you Wednesday night.
Okay, before the basketball, Hugh Freeze, as Auburn continues spring drills, they're coming up April 6th with their spring games. They're getting close there. He gets asked about the quarterback room right now. It is always a talking point when you're talking about Auburn next season is Peyton Thorne in that quarterback room. Is that the way it's going to look? Here's Hugh Freeze.
Hey, Hugh, question on your quarterbacks. What have you seen from them so far, both production on the field and also leadership?
Leadership has been really good. It's been inconsistent. We've had a couple of practices where the wind was like tough situations to throw in, but I think we've got to improve just our decision making has not been exactly what I want it to be just yet, but boy, they're hungry to learn. Peyton's have been pretty good. The other three are, it's new to a lot of them. They're getting thrown into the fire against a lot of different looks that our defense is presenting, but fairly pleased to this point, really with all four of them. Walker is obviously swimming. Everything's brand new to him, but boy, he shows flashes, as does Hank and Holden too at times. But Peyton is still the most consistent probably and should be. He's had the most reps and the most understanding of what defenses can do to you.
I was on with Peter Burns and Chris Doring yesterday morning. We talked a lot of basketball on the SEC radio channel there on Sirius XM. And when it came to football, I think it was Peter, could have been Doring, one of the two asked me, the excitement level among fan bases with DeBoer in his first year at Alabama and Freeze in his second year at Alabama. And I said, it's kind of hard to answer. I don't know, Alabama fans, they're, I think, a little bit wait and see on DeBoer, having replaced Saban. And then one of them said, well, why would Auburn not be in front? I said, the one thing I think that keeps Auburn from being an obvious answer here is another year of Peyton Thorne at quarterback. I said, I think fans are just like, I wish we had addressed it in the transfer portal. Maybe they will in the next transfer portal. I just think fans are hesitant to get too excited about another year of Peyton Thorne. He's got to prove fans wrong with that. Would you agree with my assessment there?
I think it's 100%.
I mean, every Auburn fan I talked to, and Peter and Doring both pointed out, well, Hugh Freeze is going to go back to play calling. And I'm like, that excites Auburn fans. They wanted him to do that in year one. I think they understand why he couldn't. But it only excites them to the point that Peyton Thorne responds to it and develops as a better quarterback. You can't have the performances from Thorne that you had down the stretch this year.
On the other side of the state at Alabama, Emily Grace McWhorter at practice last week asking this question to Kalen DeBoer as they start to wind down his first spring.
Now that you find yourself in the middle of spring practice, what do you find yourself prioritizing the most, both in the building and outside?
The football piece and the recruiting piece. Getting the staff aligned and, just trying to make sure that we're on the same page with what that practice and the execution of a practice is going to look like. That's big. To me, it's getting to know these guys and showing confidence and just acknowledging the growth that we're seeing with them, challenging them to be even better. So that piece with the players, but just the football, really evaluating how we do everything when it comes to who we are as a team, what our identity is becoming on both sides of the ball. And the guys are doing a really good job. We're throwing a lot at them. We're throwing a lot at them really fast. Today was some red zone stuff, and, it just keeps coming, and Saturday will be even more. And we want to try to get ready for a scrimmage to where we can go up and down the field on any down and distance and every part of the field. We can go run plays and see where we're at.
So that's EG talking with Kalen DeBoer last week at practice. Speaking of his recruiting, 24/7 composite this morning. Now, this is a snapshot. We're a long way away from even your first signing day in December, right?
Yep.
Notre Dame currently leads the way, but using 24/7 composite, 18 recruits, 0 5-stars.
Yeah, so you can't keep the lead if you don't have 5 stars.
Yeah.
And they've only got, in theory, 5 or 6 spots left there.
LSU second. Only 11 recruits, 7 less than Notre Dame, and already 3 5-stars. So here comes LSU. Right? Can he recruit for the family from up north? Yes, Brian Kelly can. Clemson third right now with 11 commitments, but no 5-stars.
Right.
Ohio State fourth right now, only 8 commitments, 2 5-stars. Ohio State's doing well, still some upward movement. Not quite as good as LSU right now. Penn State 11, no 5-stars. 11 commitments, no 5-stars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alabama currently 6th with only 8 commitments. So really highly rated commitments, and they're 6th, but no 5-stars right now.
Right.
They've got 7 4s and a 3-star. Auburn right behind them with 9 commitments, no 5-stars. Then you have Oklahoma, Wisconsin, USC, Texas Tech.
Now, am I wrong?
USC only 5.
Right.
USC is 11th, only 5 commitments, and they're 11th already, and 2 of those are 5-stars.
But am I wrong about this? That I think they reevaluate going into the final year, and some guys become 5-stars that are currently 4-stars. So some of those 4s could turn into 5s for anybody.
And 5s could become 4s.
Right. Yeah. Anybody that you mentioned. Okay.
But my point is, USC, who had the big week, we talked about it yesterday. Only 5 commitments, and they're 11th in the country right now.
Lincoln Riley getting it done right now, and a lot of that on defense. That's something he's never really focused on as much.
Yeah, so interesting snapshot on recruiting there. Final thought on basketball here before we get to trash in the next segment. One of them, USC Andy Enfield, could be leaving USC for SMU.
Well, that is weird.
Yeah, he's the leading candidate. Nothing is signed, but he's a name that's being looked at. But explain to
Well,
people.
It feels like you're getting out one step in front of the posse, right?
That's right.
And SMU is going to be an ACC job, so it's not, as long as the ACC's around, it's not the worst job in the world.
And what does SMU have a lot of?
Money.
Money. Does money help you in today's world?
Money helps you in today's world.
It does.
And then USC, I think you kind of know where they fit in, Jim, in Big Ten football. Where do they fit in Big Ten basketball, though?
Yeah,
that is a bad misfit.
I don't know.
So I think if you're infield, you look at it and I'm probably going to be on the hot seat soon. I can go to a school that's a bit of a misfit in their conference, but I reset my clock in doing it. Or I could stay at my school that's going to be a bit of a misfit in my conference and not reset my clock.
Matt Jones of Kentucky Sports Radio reporting that Mitch Barnhart and John Calipari will meet. They do it every year at the end of the year. It's nothing new. The only thing different now is it feels like the tide has turned on Calipari. The meeting could come as early as today, according to Calipari. He's last on his coach's show. $33 million buyout. Do you think he pulls the plug or he goes another year?
You know, Matt Jones, I've read a lot of it. I saw John Clay, who you know, John. He was writing columns when you were working in Lexington, wasn't it, John Clay?
Yep.
And I think if I read it right, they got Calipari's name wrong in the headline. That was
big K.
A big K instead of a C. But I think the column was saying they shouldn't pay the $33 million. That's irresponsible of them to do it. So I think Mitch Barnhart's probably getting a lot of noise on both sides of this. I think it's a tough decision for him because I agree with Ron Soleil. You got to have a plan of who you're going to go get and who is going to be better than Cal. It's no slam dunk you find a guy better than Cal.
Finally, Alabama's about to play North Carolina in the Sweet 16. Paxton Wojcik is a guard for North Carolina. He's one of only 6 players in basketball that had an NIL deal with Skims from the Kardashians, the Skims.
Right.
One of only 6. So Paxton Wojcik said, he kept being asked, there's been rumors that you've been sort of linked to Kylie Jenner, that you guys have been dating. You see a picture of Wojcik and Kylie Jenner not together, just their screen grabs and stuff. You make the judgment when Tyler throws it up there. If Warchick is in Kylie Jenner's atmosphere, orbit, species. I mean, but so
I think he'd be doing really, really well, and you'd be looking at her saying, good for him, bad for her. Is what I'm saying.
Every time he gets asked the question, he goes, "That I really would not be appropriate for me to comment on."
So
that.
he doesn't say no.
He's been playing along with it.
Yeah.
Until the Kylie Jenner side issued a statement last night from Kylie Jenner. Quote, "I've never contacted this dude, period."
Oh, my gosh. That's the worst public rejection I think I've ever seen.
Yeah. Does that mean anything? What if I contacted you?
We've not spoken.
She called him this dude.
Quote, "I've never contacted this dude, comma, period, dot, period."
Holy crap.
Yeah. And then now his side is saying he was just having a little fun. It was inappropriate. He probably should have answered the question.
I mean, I think it was pretty obvious he was having fun. I'm a little surprised Kylie took it that seriously.
Yeah. All right. That's some of the headlines away from the NCAA tournament. Trash is coming up in the next segment. EG will be here to deliver that. Our friends at NASCAR Racing and the Talladega Super Speedway are excited for the big weekend coming up. You get it with your Geico 500 ticket. You get the Walker Hayes concert on Saturday night, and then the big racing on Sunday. Xfinity tickets and ARCA tickets for Saturday. You get 2 races for the pricing there. You can see all the pricing and buy your tickets at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. That's us the other day having fun at the track, walking around, seeing Victory Lane, Big Bill's Garage, which you can buy tickets in there and have some fun, great food and drinks while the race is going on, big screen TVs, and then an area for you to walk out and watch the live racing right there on the 33-degree banking that Brown is showing you right here that makes it the world's fastest speedway. It is TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, 877. Go to Dega.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
It's that time of year. Hoops, hops, and wings with our friends at Walk-Ons. We're talking about the unbelievable madness of the best viewing and the best food in town.
This tournament season, try any of the 3 local walk-ons in Trussville, Stadium Trace in Hoover, and also the Greystone location. A wonderful menu with original food, great drinks, but most importantly in tournament season, TVs everywhere, so you can keep up with how your bracket's burning.
Your home for all the tournament action is Walk-On Sports Bistro.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from the next round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Get ready to level up your fandom with the Autograph app. Co-founded by the legendary Tom Brady himself, this app is your one-stop shop for everything college sports. Access to all the best sports content, exciting fan challenges, and exclusive rewards. Think crazy discounts on tickets, limited edition merch, and much more. Just look at this. Autograph hooked up 6 lucky fans with tickets to the Arkansas-Alabama game for just $16 a ticket. That's what they call true fan pricing. Ready to join the party? Download the free Autograph app today and use the code TNR for exclusive access.
All right, Dunaway is on his way to L.A. Our coverage from Los Angeles, presented by MyBookie.ag. Code next round, MyBookie.ag. Code next round. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Little T has joined us again. Simmering. Have you simmered? Are you simmered down?
Yeah, I feel better now.
Okay, did you? You got it. You got it out.
Good. Yeah.
EG is here. She's going to present trash in a moment. I don't know why I've gone so British on making her a presenter, or EG or Little T a presenter. It's very British.
They're
of me.
emceeing this.
emceeing, hosting, DJing.
This segment.
Yeah. So anyway, she'll have trash for us in just one moment. If you've missed part of the show, Michelson Laser Vision brings it to you. 969-8100, 969-8100. Get that free evaluation. See if LASIK surgery could be right for you. Took Lance from basically blind to fighter pilot vision. They can help you. Get that free consultation. MichelSonLaserVision.com. MichelSonLaserVision.com. 969-8100. You can get Stephen Pearl on demand. You get Clay Travis on demand. Ron Slay on demand. Talking to all of them about the NCAA tournament, among other things. Also, Katie Johnson in the transfer portal. Little T saying people around Auburn that she has spoken with before this even happened weren't surprised. You don't think it comes as a huge surprise to some people around Auburn? Yeah.
I don't think. I wasn't told like he won't be here, but I think the people that I talked to just basically said, don't expect that he will 100% be playing for Auburn next season.
Well, clearly, it doesn't appear that he will be now.
Nope.
Yep, on 3. Nope. Joe Tipton reporting he is in the portal. Yep, in the portal. All right, Dunaway on his way to L.A. with MyBookie.ag. We're on our way to trash right now. Rockstar, if you do not mind, will you hit the big button, please?
Now, the women love you when you get out there. Why do you think that is?
Because I look good.
That is? You
I
look
smell good. I feel good.
And you sing good.
And make love good.
Oh, well, there we are. We don't have to ask anybody else. We got that from the source. There you are.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Veteran on, veteran operated. Our friends at Mortgage Right bring you trash, the first step when you're in that home buying market. Or if you want to refinance, just go to mortgageright.com/TNR. That is mortgageright.com/TNR. They've got great programs for the United States veteran, but for anyone as well. Mortgageright.com/TNR. EG and Little T here to present trash.
Let's do it. We've got quite a bit today, guys.
Oh, we got a lot of trash, Rockstar, I'm told. So good work out of you, Rockstar.
Yeah.
We got a lot of it.
I was digging with shovels yesterday trying to get this trash.
Good job out of you.
Excellent work. All right, first one up. Rare disorder causes man to see people's faces as demonic. Victor Shara has always had sharp vision, but
dear.
I know. But one life-altering day in November of 2020, he noticed out of the blue that people's faces around him looked demonic. Their ears, noses, and mouths were stretched back, and there were deep grooves in their forehead, cheeks, and chins. My first thought was I woke up in a demon world, said Shahara, 59, of Clarksville, Tennessee. You can't imagine how scary it was. Someone he knew taught visually impaired people and suggested that he might have, I'm not even going to attempt to say the condition, or PMO. The extremely rare neurological disorder of perception causes faces to appear distorted in shape, size, texture, and color.
The top two look more like monkeys than demons to me.
Yeah, but the...
I don't understand how that works. One day you just see, and then it's like everyone's face has a filter on it, like a scary filter.
But they say what's interesting is it's only when I see you in person. But if I see a picture of you, you're normal Taylor. But if I see you in person, you have the pointy ears. It's just a vision thing. Like sometimes it can take a week. It's like when people wake up from a coma and they have a British accent.
Yeah, that's a weird one too. Yeah, that happens on occasion. But do they? A lot of times, though, they get rid of the accent at some point, though, don't they? It kind of goes back.
One lady just woke up and she talked Irish.
Yeah.
What?
So
I've never heard of
strange.
that.
I'd kind of like to have a British accent, honestly.
Well, you did a second
before.
ago, didn't you?
That's right. The presentas.
I love the inflection too.
Yes.
Kate Middleton.
Yeah.
Yes. I was watching. They were like Friday. That Kate Middleton video came out, and you listen to her talking. It's just so different.
So satisfying.
We're not waiting for Forrest Gump to go. Here's a chocolate. She's on a bench just waiting for the bus.
Yeah. It was a weird presentation there.
All right, next up, 500 miles in a toy car, a
Hard
Guinness World Record attempt. This is in Jacksonville.
Florida?
Yeah.
No, Ryan, Alabama. Yeah, Florida. So this is when you first said toy car, I thought you were gonna, the little one that you used to have to run like Fred Flintstone.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I thought that's what she was talking about.
I did too. I haven't seen the pictures yet, so I was intrigued to see what the device would be. So 2 women, Cassie and Lauren, are attempting a 500-mile drive down the coast of Florida. The 2 have a great relationship and love pushing the boundaries to add excitement and spontaneity into their lives. They aim to inspire others to do the same throughout this process and remind everyone not to take life so seriously. We just love to do crazy adventures and push the limits. So obviously, why? They want to get the world record, but does not currently exist. But they also are going to raise money to save animals.
Okay.
So I'm guessing these are this is a battery operated thing.
Yeah.
So they just stop at a hotel. I mean, you're not going to be able to charge that thing on a Tesla thing.
Well,
No, that's true.
Are they driving on the open road?
I would hope not.
No,
Yeah, there's
I'm
no way
guessing,
those things.
I'm guessing it's going to be almost like sidewalks or something like that.
Yeah.
There's got to be. They're not on the interstate. I know that.
How many miles do you think one of those goes on a charge, though?
He probably has like 6 AA batteries.
Yes.
And those things don't last long. I have no idea, but
Yeah. Michael says, I bet they stay in the left lane. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but if there's no record, I wonder how they landed on 500 miles. Now, why not go 100
Go
and you
5
still have
miles.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
because I'll break it next week. I'll do 10.
But I do feel like we're raising money to help animals. I feel like if you do something that you're going to get heavily criticized for, you're like, but I am raising money for animals, and then you're like, people are going to say, well, okay.
How are they raising money?
That's
They're aiming to reach $10,000.
Well, it looks like they've got Rockstar. Can you zoom in? It looks like they got some sort of advertisement on their windshield there.
The windshield.
No,
Guinness
they do.
World Record attempt. Lauren.
Oh, that's their
Laughs.
Instagram or something. Yeah.
Interesting.
I tell you what, I'm not going to follow this closely. Rockstar, if one of them gets clipped by a transfer truck or something, maybe we bring that back into trash as an update.
Well, I don't know if it's depth perception, but it looks like the girl in the middle has a gigantic book.
Yeah.
Here's all the routes you shall take.
Well, the size of the cars makes everything look how big the
Massive.
truck next to it looks because how small the cars are. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I won't be partaking in that, but
These are the routes you shall take.
Okay, Rocky, I want your opinion on this one. Playground bullies do prosper and go on to earn more in middle age.
Okay.
Do you agree with this, Rocky?
Oh, my son's one right now, but
He's a playground bully?
Yes.
Cord
Well,
is?
we when you
Is that
come
why you brought this up?
Yeah.
when you pick up your child at the daycare, and it's a bad day if the person at the front desk goes, Dad, we have a note.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a handwritten note from the teacher saying Cord was playing with his, it's always in quotes, friends, and got a little aggressive and threw someone down.
Oh.
Okay.
Did they upgrade it to a flagrant two?
Then the next day I got another one. Cord was chasing a friend in the room and tackled him.
Yeah.
So
Well, how do you stop that? Cord? I mean,
Yeah,
well,
so
it's an
then-
illegal tackle. You
So
get-
then the next day, which was last Thursday, third day in the row, that you need to speak to Miss So-and-so. And I was like,
Oh,
no.
wow,
I had
it
to
goes right past the note.
I had to go into her office, and she's like, I just wanted you to see it for yourself. And she had a video of footage. She said, you see Cord is here.
Footage.
You see him turn his head because the teacher tells him to stop. And he goes, when he wasn't looking, this other kid walks up and Cord just shoves him, and the kid goes flying. And I say, I'm so sorry. She's like, it's okay. He's the biggest kid in the class. He's about
Okay,
to turn
that's
2.
good, yeah.
So he's going to go to the next class, and he won't be the biggest kid. I was
So
like,
is it like security camera footage, or they're videoing him the whole time
Oh, it's
knowing
just
he's a
A ring camera?
no, it's just a CCTV.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like just for the
wow.
daycare, for them to hey, this is what happened. We got to watch
Well, I
everything.
didn't know if they were like, hey, this kid's trouble. Y'all keep a camera on him
Yeah,
at all
I did
times.
too.
It's a
Yeah.
GoPro attached to his head. of him just stealing French fries. But no, I was like, I don't know how.
Well, but I mean, he's not even 2 yet. You can't even
Right.
talk to him
But
about it.
I
What's he gonna
can't-
do?
I said, I can't. How do we curb this behavior? He doesn't have a sibling. He doesn't have a best friend. And I made a bad joke, but I didn't say it in front of the person.
What are you gonna say?
Oh, I said I don't push him. I hit my wife, but I don't push. I don't push her.
Wow.
She doesn't. You get weird looks from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was a bully, so he's going to prosper. EG?
Yeah, so according to 5 UK study, 50-year UK study finds that aggression at school leads to better paying jobs, while those with emotional instability went on to earn less. Children who displayed aggressive behavior at school, such as bullying or temper outbursts, are likely to earn more money in middle age, according to a 5-decade study. They are also more likely to have higher job satisfaction and be in more desirable jobs. The paper published today used data about... Rocky, this one is a little messed up, but that's okay.
I think we got the point.
It's the theory.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the theory. Girls can attest to this. That there's a lot of people that are aggressive, and there's the people that are aggressive that are go-getters. No matter how, I'm going to get what I want. So there's a lot of people that see a cute girl at a bar. People like me that have I am not going to go talk to her because I'm so scared she's going to turn me down and all that. And then there's the aggressive guy that's already talked to 10 girls like, I don't care. I'm going to come up to you. What's your number? And you can turn me down because I'm going to talk to her right after you. It's just that go-get atmosphere where it's like those are the guys that get the girls because they're the ones that are constantly getting hit on. And then you got the guys that are passive like that just sit in the shadows. And it's an interesting way. Like this is the same thing. Bullies will come. I will get that job. I will apply for that job. And you got the passive kid that's just like, I'm not good enough.
So if you two had to pick one, both of you are single. I mean, you're in relationships.
Not married.
But not married. If you had to pick, you have to pick either the bully or the super passive guy. Which one would you go with?
Depends on. I don't know.
I don't
a
like
lot
passiveness.
Of things. I don't like passiveness either, but like
bully's tough too. Yeah.
I don't like arrogancy.
Yeah.
Were you guys bullied ever?
Not that I recall.
Yep.
Rocky, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
These stories make me
cry. I'll tell the stories, but yes.
They make you cry, or Rockstar stories make you cry?
Yes, and Dunaway playing backyard football and being both teams and being a sideline reporter.
But the difference is Jim looks back on those stories as like the greatest days of his life, and Rockstars are super traumatic.
Yeah, they both make me sad though. Like the day that it was just Dunaway and I can't remember. I think I
Christmas.
Yeah. It was by Christmas. I think for 30 minutes before the show, he was explaining to me how all of these games worked, and then like also giving me a real life he was basically doing it. Right. Yeah, and it made me really sad. But yes, he did say, he was like, these are good, fun memories.
No, those are fun for him. Not so much for Rockstar.
Yeah, that makes you sad.
They form who you are today. Good or bad.
But I do think a unfair stereotype is the bully's always a redhead. Don't you think?
Yeah, it is.
The stock photo there is the
your
dude's
bully
just
a
like
redhead?
super redhead.
No, I don't. I think the only person I can remember traumatizing me was my kindergarten teacher. But
wow.
But yeah, it was bad.
They're literally not supposed to do that.
No, like that's supposed to be the most warm and fuzzy person. But yeah, she wasn't. But when I was in an Uber, my mom can tell you all about it. But when I was in an Uber in Spokane, there was a little redhead kid that was on the crosswalk, and the driver was like, keep moving, punk. That little redhead. And I was like, what? I was like, wait, sir, what?
Oh my goodness.
And he was like, yeah. He was like, that ginger. And I was like,
easy now.
Yeah.
He was like, the punks are always the ginger kids. And I was like, what are you saying?
Rockstar, you get bullied from thousands of miles away.
I'm a ginger. Next point. I used to be. I don't have any hair anymore.
But you saying that just reminded me of. I was just like, all right, sir, I'll get out now on this crosswalk. But yeah,
I had a bully, and who did I share this with? I think it was
the Mystery Fifth Hour.
Yeah, Iffy Gwood.
What?
My bully's name was Iffy Gwood.
Iffy what? Is Iffy his first name?
Yes.
Iffy, and his last name is Gwood?
Yes.
How do you spell that?
I can't remember, but I was in like 3rd grade, and it only lasted a day because I came home and I told my mom that Iffy was being mean to me, and she was like, Grace, his name's Iffy Gwood. Like, you're fine.
Wait, is this not the kid that called you?
No, that's okay. That was another Mystery Fifth Hour. Sea Beast.
Yeah.
I wasn't here for that one either.
Where you punched a kid.
Yeah, that was
you punched a kid?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. So I was in the neighborhood cruising around on my bike with my brother Jake, and there was this kid in the neighborhood, Devin, and he was just a menace to. I'm sure he still is to society. And he was also the kid that would hide under like the bus seats and like pop up and scare you, which is just gross.
That kid.
I know.
Typical Devin.
So on the bikes, and he was taunting me, and he called me a sea beast.
Sea beast.
A sea beast.
What a weird thing to call
I've never
somebody.
heard that again.
Yeah.
And so we chased him, and I don't know why he stopped. I guess we were on bikes, so we caught up with him. And I asked my brother if I could punch him, and Jake naturally says yes.
Well, sure.
And so I punched him, and he did not mess with me again.
Wow.
You don't mess with a sea beast.
No, you don't. All right. Next trash story. Charlotte neighbors upset after single-family home turned into 8-room Airbnb. Neighbors in the Charlotte area are concerned after what they call a questionable Airbnb.
Oh my God, there's no way they could have 8 rooms in that.
So the former homeowner, Jordan, said the current owner never mentioned Airbnb during the sale. Do you have to disclose that information when you're selling a home or purchasing?
Or actually, I don't know.
Well, like, what if my intentions change?
Yeah.
Like, I've already bought it. I've been here for 2 years. Why can't my intentions change?
So, in other words, I'm buying the house, and I didn't know it was listed on Airbnb? Is that what the story is?
The person that sold the house said he didn't know when he was selling the house to this person that it was going to be turned into an Airbnb.
Oh, well, I mean, that's not up to you. I'm selling the house. I don't know what you're going to do. You can turn it into a meth lab for all I know.
Right, yeah. Right.
I'm not responsible for that.
So he actually, the former owner, confronted the new owner about the ad. I said, you did not tell me this is what you are going to do. And he just denied it and said, I can do what I want.
Huh.
I mean, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, once
you
he
don't
buys
own the house.
What kind of fencing do you want? Okay, now listen to me. I want weird fencing, but I want the door to be a different type, a type of shape, and then I want chicken wire. But then I don't want people to go through the door, so I want caution tape.
I mean, it is a bit pieced together, I would have to agree.
You'll know which one it is.
Yes.
It looks like they ran out of supplies.
Yeah, just leave it like that. That's good, yeah.
So the current homeowner listed the home for $23 per night on Airbnb, and neighbors said they're concerned strangers will be coming and going at all hours of the day.
I'd be concerned too if I were a neighbor.
Me too.
Yeah.
$23.
Yeah, 23 is a bit of a low rate for that. Yeah.
I mean, that looks like a fairly nice home.
Yeah.
It's on some land. I don't think I would want people coming in and out if they're my neighbors.
I would agree.
All right, to wrap things up, this is a little cray-cray. App that times bathroom breaks stirs controversy at Fresno High.
A what?
An app that times bathroom breaks.
Okay.
So the gist of this is they got fed up.
Well, real quick, if I gave you a bathroom break in school, I gave you time limit. What would be?
I think 5 is reasonable.
Okay.
Depending on how far away the bathroom is.
I'm just curious what you would say.
What would you say?
Yeah.
I don't know, but all I'm thinking about now is that the fact that we had to raise our hands in class when we were little.
Did you have to get the hall pass?
Yep.
Yeah.
In some classes. And in some classes, we could only have a certain amount per semester. So, or quarter, 9 weeks. And the teachers would literally like keep track.
Right.
And I was like, this is, I don't know.
I got to go to the bathroom.
Raising your hand.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, sorry, continue.
Well, the gist of it is they are tired of students taking too long to go to the bathroom, and they're getting up to things that are no good. So you have 7 minutes to get there and get back, and you have to punch it into your app when you leave and when you return.
So it's like clocking in, clocking out to go to the
Yes.
bathroom. So what's this supposed to do? It's just going to track how often I go to the bathroom?
Oh, it tracks. You're going to have a track of Emily Grace went to the bathroom 10 times this semester, averaging exactly 7 minutes. So we need to address some things.
They seem like they have too much time on their hands.
I agree. I mean, I don't know how this is going to solve anything. Like, my kid may have to go to the bathroom 10 times. It doesn't mean she's smoking weed in there.
And I got in trouble. I would have gotten in trouble because 2 weeks ago here, Thursday, it was a remarkable day. I was in the bathroom so long the motion sensor went off.
Yeah, Rockstar's got issues.
I mean, it was a good 20 minutes.
Yeah. Blake says in the chat room they're piloting this in Alabama. Schools put you in a queue to go to the bathroom. It's like being at Disney, like I'm in a queue to ride a ride.
Awful.
And they look and see if they're fewer than 25 students campus wide. So if there are 25 students out. Okay, so my mom is a teacher.
So it's like surge hours for,
Yes.
I got to go pee, but we got surge hours, so I can't go.
So my mom is a teacher, and the stories I have been told of her students are insane. And she says that part of the issue, like the most fights break out during like class hours because kids will jump each other in the hallways.
Jeez.
So they're trying to keep kids in the classrooms. But then the problem is like, well, what if the people that just have to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, I mean, people still have to pee,
Right.
whether there's fights or not.
But they don't want
I do it like
people
6 times a show.
roaming the halls. And so, okay, from my mom's perspective, I'm like, that kind of makes sense because nothing good is happening and people aren't just using the bathroom, but for the people that actually need to go to the bathroom, it sucks.
Yeah, I don't know about this rule.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
All right, that is Trash, presented by Mortgage Right. Thank you, ladies. We'll see more of you guys tomorrow with Dunaway out.
Oh, yeah.
That's
oh
right.
My gosh.
On his way to L.A.
Yeah.
Presented by MyBookie.
Lower Alabama.
Lower Alabama. The Trash, presented by Mortgage Right. MortgageRight.com/TNR. MortgageRight.com/TNR. One massive NFL rule change to wrap up the show when we return on the next round.
Follow John Lunsford on Twitter @JLuntz.
It's that time of year again. The Legacy Swap and Drop promotion is back. It's bigger than ever. Swap your current auto loan or RV loan to Legacy and drop your interest rate and monthly payment. Don't miss out on this opportunity to save big with our friends at Legacy Credit Union. Not a member yet? That's okay. You too can save by becoming a member today. Head over to swapanddrop.com. Apply in minutes. That's swapanddrop.com, or visit one of their 9 greater Birmingham area branches. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Get ready to level up your fandom with the Autograph app. Co-founded by the legendary Tom Brady himself, this app is your one-stop shop for everything college sports. Access to all the best sports content, exciting fan challenges, and exclusive rewards. Think crazy discounts on tickets, limited edition merch, and much more. Just look at this. Autograph hooked up 6 lucky fans with tickets to the Arkansas-Alabama game for just $16 a ticket. That's what they call true fan pricing. Ready to join the party? Download the free Autograph app today and use the code TNR for exclusive access.
NASCAR is returning to Talladega Super Speedway for the 2024 Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th through Sunday, April 21. Guarantee your 2024 Geico 500 weekend experience today by visiting TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or calling 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Enhance your race weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience, presented by Cool Ray. It is the Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th and Sunday, April 21st. Guarantee your spot now, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
You got to look your best to play your best, and our friends at Bandwagon can help your team find the perfect uniforms for that upcoming season. Bandwagon is with you every step of the way, from developing your team logo design to choosing from their multitude of samples. You name the sport, they can make it happen. To get your uniform journey started, you can shoot them a message on any social media platform or check out their website, bandwagonsports.com. That's bandwagonsports.com. Next Round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon.
All right, just a few minutes left in the show. Again, Dunaway on his way to L.A. right now. Lance still on vacation at kind of an empty set right
We're just falling apart.
Falling apart. Dunaway's coverage from L.A. presented by MyBookie.ag. Code NEXTROUND when you sign on at MyBookie.ag. Get that sign-on bonus. Use it once. It is yours and yours forever if you win with it that first time. MyBookie.ag. Code NEXTROUND. They bring you Dunaway's coverage from L.A., which will begin tomorrow with the Media Day for the Sweet 16 tomorrow, and Dunaway will be out there for all of that. And then, of course, the game Thursday, and if Alabama can advance, the game Saturday there in Crypto.com Arena. One NFL rule change to wrap up the show. You have seen it by now, and there's video everywhere of what it would look like. If you've watched some of the spring leagues, you have actually seen it. Before we talk about we'll go and talk about it now. So Tyler's got the graphic up. Basically, if you have not seen this, the kickoff coverage team will not be at the 35 with the kicker. They will be across the 50 on the other side of the field. They'll be basically at the 40. Then there will be, I think, 5 yards between them and the kick coverage team, who will be at the 35. Then you'll have the return people. So if the ball is on the field between the 20 and the goal line, it's returnable. I think you can return it out of the end zone too, but obviously the touchback comes into play in the end zone if you don't want to return it. You cannot move as a kick coverage team until the ball is kicked. So the kick coverage team and the kick return team till the ball is caught. The kick coverage team and the kick return team have to remain stationary until the ball is caught. Once the ball is caught, then everybody can get in motion. Now, what this creates is, if you've seen from some of the spring leagues, it limits the blow-up plays, guys getting hit with a kick coverage guy coming down full steam for 70 yards, basically. It limits that. So injury-wise, it is a little bit more beneficial to the teams. But the other thing it does is it's harder to peel back a safety. You do have to directionally kick to maybe peel back a safety. And it allows for the kick returner to potentially just break one line and basically bust out a big return. So it could lead to more exciting return plays. I think what you're going to have is just teams, as much as they can, kicking it through the end zone, which they already do. Very rarely in the NFL do you see kick returns anyway. But I think you're going to have teams kicking it through the end zone. But it's also, if the ball is kicked in the field of play, you're going to be able to return the ball. Can I get Lunsford real quick? Lunsford, I mean, you're a guy that played football throughout your career, played in the collegiate level there at Birmingham Southern. Did you, I don't think you were a lineman, so I doubt you played much kick coverage, but there were a significant amount of the big hit blow-ups on kick coverage, right?
Yeah, no, I was the lineman, so I didn't do a lot of running when it came to the field. But, yeah, there's always massive things. I mean, when you look at highlight reels of, let's say Alabama, they play a highlight reel beforehand, of, all the big hits and everything. So many of those are on kickoffs that you can get that head of steam because you're literally running down the field. And I don't remember what the name of the drill was, but there was a drill that we had to get punished when I was playing in high school that – you would have to catch the ball and let basically all 11 come at you at the same time. It was not real fun to do that. Basically, you had to do that whenever you missed a key block. But yeah, there's a lot of big hits on that.
And this will be, Lunsford, you know how this works. This will be in the NFL. They'll trumpet the safety of it, and then it'll make its way to college. You're going to see this in college before it's too long.
Oh yeah, I think the XFL back in the day did a lot for technology and stuff, like the 2001 version we had. But now I think the leagues, the AAF, the XFL, the USFL, whatever, have done a great job from the kickoff standpoint. I would be fine just getting rid of them, honestly, and going with the AAF did and just basically start 1st and 10 at the 25.
I think
because that's what 99% of them are going to be anyway.
Yep.
But I'm all for making it different just because I like change in general.
Everybody's pointing out Reuben Foster would hate this. That hit against it was on Fournette, right? He was returning the kick for LSU.
It was LSU,
Yeah, he blew him up. All right, so we'll see how this is received in the NFL and if it makes its way down to college. As we get out of here, a reminder, Hemp Hill Services. When something is not running right, draining right, working right, that is who you call. The HVAC, the plumbing, all of that, Hemp Hill Services. Whether you're a home or a business, you're going to need it at some point. Make sure you go ahead and bookmark Hemp Hill, 229-2090. That's a 205 number, 229-2090. All right, we start our coverage from L.A. tomorrow. Dunaway will be on the ground. He'll be on the show with us tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock from out at Crypto.com Arena, where the Alabama Crimson Tide will play North Carolina in the Sweet 16 Thursday. Dunaway on the ground in L.A. tomorrow, thanks to mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. We'll see you at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Have a great afternoon. Thanks for joining us on the Next Round.